A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
You're about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. Dragnet. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned a juvenile detail. In the past 6 weeks, a junior high school has been broken into 3 times, and extensive damage has been done by vandals. Your job? Investigate.
It was Monday, March 9th. It was cold in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of juvenile detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Powers. My name's Friday. We were on our way out from the office. It was 8:32 a.m. when we got to the Hillside Junior High School, the vice principal's office.
Good morning. May I help you?
Yes, ma'am. Police officers. We'd like to see Miss Ridley.
Oh, yes. You've been here before, haven't you?
That's right.
Uh-huh. Miss Ridley's expecting you. You can go right in.
Thank you very much.
Come in. Good morning, officers. Come in, please, and sit down.
Thank you.
You seem to be getting more than our share of trouble.
Yes, ma'am. What is it this time?
Same as before, a little more serious.
Cafeteria?
Yes, wait until you see the place. Just downright vandalism. Food thrown all over on the walls and the floor.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't stop there.
What do you mean?
The student supply store was broken into. In fact, that's where the entrance was made.
Yeah?
Girl in charge says that a number of items are missing.
What was taken?
Things the students use in school. Notebooks, pencils, fountain pens.
I see.
There were a lot of transportation books taken, too.
Those are the kind the kids use on the buses and streetcars, is that what you
Yes,
mean?
that's right.
Well, they have serial numbers, don't they?
Yes, we keep a record of them in the office.
You'll be able to give us a list of the numbers on the missing books?
Oh, yes.
All right, fine. What if we could take a look at that storeroom?
Surely. It's right next to the office. I wasn't so sure the last time, but I am now.
What do you mean?
About who's responsible for this.
You got an idea who might have done it?
Well, I'm pretty sure it must be a student or a former student.
Why do you say that, Miss Ridley?
No, there's the window they entered.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody must have known that this window opened into the storeroom.
Yeah. Screen's torn here and the window's broken. You have somebody special in mind who might have done this?
No, it wouldn't be fair to cast suspicion on any boy or girl without proof.
Well, have you had trouble with any students since we were here last?
Yes?
What was wrong, ma'am?
During study periods, a group of 5 boys were causing minor disturbances.
Uh-huh.
But it's all been straightened out. I had a talk with the leader of the group. Found out he wanted to take part in school athletics. His parents didn't want him to, afraid he might be injured.
Mm-hmm.
So I called them in for a conference. We talked, and they finally agreed to let the boy participate in school sports.
Mm-hmm.
That's all there was to it. Haven't had any trouble since.
How about the other boys?
They weren't really bad. Without a leader, they just settled down. I'm sure it wasn't any of them.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if you could tell us if anything has been moved in here.
No. This is just the way we found it.
Mm-hmm. Wonder why they didn't mess this room up, too.
I don't know. I've been teaching for 20 years, and I'm pretty sure of one thing.
What's that, ma'am?
Children do wrong, but not because they want to be tough or brave. Usually because they're afraid of something.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them are pretty frightened kids. They need help.
Well, we'll buy that.
The problem is, what happens to them if they don't get it?
I'm afraid you know the answer to that one better than I do. They'll still be around.
Yes?
As frightened adults. In the cafeteria, we found conditions about the same as we had after the previous acts of vandalism at the school. The refrigerator had been ransacked. Cartons of milk, along with containers of ice cream and frozen foods, had been smashed against the walls and the floor. The tables had been overturned, and the chairs had been thrown around and broken. The floor was covered with glass. Frank put in a call to Leighton Prince, and they sent a crew out to go over the storeroom and the cafeteria. Miss Ridley told us that she had already notified school security. Before we left, she furnished us with a complete list of stolen articles and the serial numbers for the missing student transportation books. We returned to Georgia Street and met with Captain Powers.
You're pretty sure it's juveniles?
Yeah, the kind of stuff that was taken. The damage done sure points that way.
Any help from Miss Ridley?
Yeah, but she couldn't give us any names.
No teacher-pupil problem?
Yeah, she mentioned a minor case, which said it had been cleared up.
Mm-hmm. This is the third time in 6 weeks for the school, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kids don't usually travel very far for these deals. It's a good chance that some of them from the school.
Well, the way it looks, if they try to peddle this stuff to the other kids, we might be able to get a lead on them.
Mm-hmm.
There's a hitch to that, though.
What do you mean?
Well, Miss Ridley said that she was going to make an announcement to the student body.
Yeah.
She's going to tell them to be on the lookout for the stolen articles.
Mm-hmm. Kids that took the stuff from school, they might lay low for a while.
That's it.
How much was taken?
About $500 worth of school supplies.
A pretty good haul.
Yeah.
What do you want to do about it?
Well, if it's all right with you, Frank and I'd like to put a stake out on the school.
All right, when?
We know the janitors work into the early morning hours on Fridays.
Yeah.
So it figures the school must be broken into sometime on Saturday or Sunday.
All right, when do you want to start?
This coming weekend.
Okay, I'll arrange a clearance for you with school security.
Right.
Any more help you need, let me know.
Whoever did it must have something against the cafeteria. The place was a real mess.
Yeah?
Bad enough the first couple of times. Didn't leave anything in the freezers this trip. Sure doesn't make much sense.
I don't know, maybe it does.
What?
Each time they hit the cafeteria, right?
Yeah, that's right.
They didn't tear up the storeroom.
We threw a few pencil boxes around, that's about all.
Yes, but every time food has been destroyed.
That's right.
Well, we got a reason for doing it.
Yeah?
Somebody that can't resist the urge to eat all the time doesn't like being overweight. So without knowing why they do it, they destroy food.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a part of it anyway. It's only a theory, but it might hold water.
Yeah, well, that's true, but we don't know if it's a gang we're after or just one person. Another thing, they've broken in 3 times. Might have been by different kids.
Good questions, all of them.
Yeah.
That's why you get paid, to get the answers.
We kept in contact with Miss Ridley during the rest of the week, but as far as she knew, none of the stolen articles showed up. Captain Powers talked with the school security section of the Board of Education, and Frank and I staked out in the school on Saturday and Sunday. There was no disturbance. We went back the following weekend. Saturday passed without trouble. Sunday, 7:34 p.m., we were sitting in the vice principal's office.
Right, yeah. Come on, right.
All right, son, come on. Party's over. What? Come on, tell us. Grab him, Johnny. Let me go. All right, take it easy, boy. Now, take it easy. This isn't going to help. Just hold still. What's your name?
Jerry.
What's your last name?
Beckle.
You've done this before? Come on, son, answer me. All right, let's go.
You gonna put me in jail?
We'll see.
Not afraid of you cops.
There's no reason you should be. Why'd you throw all this food around?
I don't know.
You haven't got a reason?
No. She went to a lot of trouble to catch me.
Not too much, son.
Huh?
You made it easy. Before leaving the school, Frank called school security and notified them of the broken window and the damage done by Jerry Beckel. We drove back to Georgia Street to question the subject further. On the way down, he refused to say anything. At the office, he told us he lived at 1206 Walnut Street. Frank went to check Central Juvenile Index. 8:42 p.m.
That's all. Not going to tell you any more.
Now, let's get one thing straight, son. You're in trouble. We'd like to help you, but you got to play ball with us. We'll level with you, but you got to play it the same way. Now, do you understand?
Yeah.
All right. Now, we can't do anything for you unless you want us to. Unless we know why you do these things, it'll be pretty hard for you to find a way out. Is that clear?
Guess so.
Well, the only way we can find out is if you tell us the truth.
Joe?
Yeah.
The boy has no previous record.
Mm-hmm. All right, how about it? You ready to answer our questions now, son?
Sure. But it won't do any good.
Why do you say that?
Can't change my looks, can you?
Well, why? There's no reason to do that. You look healthy to me.
Sure, I'm healthy. Fat and ugly, too. That's why I had the trouble with Miss Ridley.
Well, now, suppose you tell us about it.
She kicked me out of school.
Why?
Fight.
Who were you fighting with?
Oh, different guys.
Why'd you fight?
Called me names.
All right, go ahead.
It isn't my fault. I can't help how I look.
You sure that's why you had the fight?
They wouldn't let me alone. Suppose you think I'm real good looking, huh?
Son, I told you we'd level with you. You're not an ugly kid. Now, it seems to me you're imagining a lot.
Sure. I suppose they call me Lard Barrel and Witchman because they imagined it, too.
Maybe they got another reason.
Like what?
To needle you. If you didn't let them know it bothered you, they probably wouldn't have kept it up. They called you names to get you into fights. Don't you think that's it?
That's what you say.
Well, that's what we believe.
She didn't have to kick me out of school.
How many fights you have, Jack?
I don't know.
Well, you must have some idea.
Quite a few.
Miss Ridley talked to you?
Yeah.
She gave you more than one chance, didn't she?
Yeah. But the kids kept after me. Wouldn't let me alone.
You don't like Miss Ridley, do you?
Why should I?
Is that why you broke into the school?
Maybe.
How many times did you go in?
3.
Did you steal the things from the storeroom?
Yeah.
Where are they?
You
live with your father and mother?
Yeah.
Any brothers or sisters?
2 brothers, 3 sisters.
Well, now, when you had the trouble at school, did Miss Ridley talk to your parents?
No.
She didn't get in touch with them at all, huh?
Sure, she tried, but they didn't go in to see her.
Is there any reason why they didn't?
No, just didn't go, that's all.
Well, I guess we better go out and have a talk with them this time.
Why?
Well, they'll have to know about this trouble that you're in. Maybe if we talk to them, we can sort of work this problem out together, don't you think?
That won't do any good.
Why not, son?
They think I'm fat and ugly.
Jerry Beckel went on to say that he was now attending the Jansen School, one of 2 maintained in the city for juveniles who have difficulty making adjustments in normal school life. He also told us that on all 3 occasions he had been alone when he broke into the Hillside School. We drove out to his home. It was a small frame house badly in need of repair. We met his father, Henry Beckel. We told him the reason for our visit.
So you just can't stay out of trouble. First it's fighting and you get kicked out of school. Now this mess. What's the matter with you anyhow?
I don't know, Dad.
Excuse me, Mr. Beckel, but this kind of talk isn't going to get us anywhere. Your son has a definite problem and he needs help.
Sure, he's got a problem. He's no good. Never has been, never will be.
I'm going to take the boy outside.
Sure. Come on, son.
I suppose you're going to give me the answers. You sound like you think it's my fault he got into this trouble.
Well, you might have helped keep him out of it.
Sure, just follow him around all day and night, slap his wrist when he steps out of line.
You were asked to go over to his school when he had trouble before. Why didn't you go?
I didn't have the time. I got to worry about 5 other kids. They got to eat. Can't be taking time away from work just because one of them can't keep his nose clean.
What about your wife?
What do you mean?
Well, couldn't she have gone over to the school?
Why don't you ask her?
Is she here now?
Nope. Gone out, probably at a movie. But she has to have some fun, so she leaves me with the kids.
Is there any reason why she couldn't go and talk with Miss Ridley about your son, Jerry?
Yeah. She figured it was his own problem. So he has to learn to fight his own battles.
Well, that's fine when you know what you're fighting. Your boy doesn't.
There's nothing the matter with him.
That's where you're wrong. Your son has an inferiority complex about his looks.
Oh, big deal.
That's one of the things that's wrong with him.
You trying to tell me he gets into trouble because of the way he feels about his looks?
It's possible that's a good part of it.
You gonna have to go to jail?
I'm afraid he will.
Don't you put kids on probation sometimes, let the parents look after them?
Yeah, when they have parents.
Well, couldn't you do that for Jerry?
If you could show the authorities that you'd be responsible for him, it might work out.
I could do that.
There's something more you got to do. Find time to talk to him. We took the subject along with the recovered stolen property back to Georgia Street. The next day, Miss Ridley came down and identified the articles as those taken from the school storeroom. She said that Jerry Beckel had been in numerous fights before he was dismissed from school. During her investigation of the disorder, she found that Beckel had provoked several of the fights. She went on to say that the subject had been a below-average student, showing little interest in academic work. A petition was filed in Beckel's behalf with the juvenile court. The petition was sustained, and he was placed on probation with the Los Angeles County Probation Department and allowed to remain in the custody of his parents. March 31st, 8:06 a.m.
I just picked up the reports for yesterday. You want to check them over?
Yeah, all right, thanks.
I saw the skipper on the way in.
Yeah?
You remember that Austin boy?
Car thief, wasn't he?
Yeah. Violated his probation. Picked up again last night.
Too bad. What was that kid's name on the Hillside School case, that heavy-set boy?
One that thought he was so ugly?
Yeah, that's the one.
Beckel or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What about him?
Well, look here. The description on this report fits him. And listen to this. Victim states the subject said to her, "What are you smiling for, because I'm so ugly?"
It might be. What's the charge?
Pretty bad this time.
Yeah.
Attempted robbery and shooting.
You are listening to Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action.
The robbery and shooting had occurred the previous night about 7:30 p.m. We checked with the Georgia Street Receiving Hospital, and we found the victim, Linda Cotterly, had been treated for a minor flesh wound in the leg. She'd been shot with a .22 caliber pistol. The hospital report showed that she'd been released and allowed to return home. We contacted the officers working the case and checked the reports that had been filed. We asked if we could talk to the victim. Frank and I drove out to the address, and we were admitted by her sister. Linda Cotterly was lying on a couch in the front room. We identified ourselves and asked her if she'd mind going over the story for us.
I told the other officers all about it.
Yes, we understand that. We saw their report, but we appreciate your telling us just what happened.
Well, guess it won't do no harm. Suppose if more of you know about it, you'll have a better chance to catch a little stinker.
That's right, ma'am.
I shouldn't have said that.
Ma'am?
Little stinker. He was a big stinker.
Oh, yeah.
Could have killed me. Gives me cold chills thinking about it.
We understand.
I wonder if you'd do something for me.
Yes, ma'am. What's that?
There's an Afghan on the sewing machine in the dining room. Would you get it for me?
Sure.
Thank you.
I wonder if you'd tell us the story.
Sure. Well, you know I was shot in the leg right here.
Yes, we know.
First I thought it was just some kid playing a joke.
Here you are, ma'am.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Smith. Would you just drape it over me? Gently now.
All right.
That's fine, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you said you thought it was a joke when this boy tried to hold you up.
Yeah, he was so young looking. Couldn't have been more than 15 or 16.
Yeah.
He was sort of chubby. Didn't look mean at all. I guess I should have been scared, but I wasn't. I just smiled.
Did he say anything when he approached you?
About it being a hold-up, you mean?
That's right.
No. Came up to me, had a gun in his hand.
That's when you smiled.
That's right.
Then what happened?
He got a real mad look on his face. Made him look tough.
Is that when he spoke to you?
How'd you know?
Well, it's in the report.
That's right, I'd forgotten. Well, then I guess I can skip the part about what he said.
We'd like to hear his exact words if you can remember them.
He said, "What are you smiling for, because I'm so ugly?"
Mm-hmm. Did you get a good look at him?
Yes and no.
How do you mean that?
Well, I did see him, but I don't remember his face too well. I know he was young. Not too good looking, but it's hard to say just what he did look like.
You think you'd know him if you ever saw him again?
Might. It's pretty dark, I'm not sure.
All right, what happened after he spoke to you?
I said no, meaning I didn't think he was ugly. And they told me to give him my purse. That's when it happened.
What was that, ma'am?
I got scared. I knew he wasn't fooling. I screamed and started running. Then I heard the noise, gunfire.
All right, go ahead.
Then I felt a sting on my leg when the bullet hit me. Kept on running, went past a vacant lot. Kept screaming, and then I saw a man across the street open his front door and look out. I ran up to him, told him I'd been shot, and he called the police.
When you said this person was chubby, did you mean he was fat?
Well, he was kind of big around the middle, and his face was sort of round-like.
How about his hair? Was it dark?
Yeah.
Did you notice if it was straight or wavy?
No. Tell me, you got an idea who this kid was?
Well, we're not sure.
I know one thing.
What's that?
That kid should be taught a lesson. Only one thing to do with them when they're that rotten. Slap them around a little and just forget about them.
Well, that's the trouble here. That's what they did to this boy. Frank and I went back to the office and checked the records on the petition, and we found that the subject's father, Henry Beckel, was employed at a lumber yard. We drove down to the place and found him stacking lumber in the back lot.
What's on your mind this time?
How's Jerry been getting along?
All right, I guess.
Attending school regularly?
As far as I know, haven't had any bad reports.
What's he been doing nights?
He stays in the house. Goes out once in a while, never too late. Why?
Where was he Monday night?
Home.
All night?
Yeah.
How about Tuesday?
After supper, he went out for a while, came in early. Why?
How's your son been acting lately?
What do you mean?
Has he had any trouble at school?
I told you I haven't had any bad reports from him.
How about at home?
No trouble. We're trying to help him.
Well, and as far as you know, he's been in pretty good spirits. Is that right?
Look, you know he's no ball of fire, but he seems to be happy enough.
Uh-huh.
What is all this, anyway?
We're just checking something out.
Well, the way you ask questions, it sounds like you think Jerry's in trouble again.
No, we didn't say that.
Well, you don't have to. I know what you're getting at, and I don't like it.
No reason to get upset.
They're right. How would you feel? Jerry's been released to my custody. You're as much as telling me I haven't been doing the right thing.
Well, if you're sure of that in your own mind, you don't have anything to worry about, do you?
Well, I've done what I can, but I can't watch him all the time. What's he supposed to have done this time?
We're not sure he's done anything.
He wouldn't be nosing around if he didn't have some reason.
Just something we got to check.
All right. But if he got off on the wrong foot again, don't try to pin any tails on me. I've been doing the right thing. But I don't mind telling you, I've never been too sure he would straighten out.
Is that right?
Yeah. But I'm doing what I can for him.
Yeah?
I feed him, I put clothes on his back, I put a roof over his head. What more can I give him?
You own a gun, Mr. Beckel?
What?
I said you own a gun.
Yeah, why?
What kind?
.22 pistol.
We drove over to the Jansen school and we talked to the principal. We explained our business and he told us that Jerry Beckel hadn't been in school all day. We drove out to the boy's home. We met his mother. He said he wasn't there, but he'd probably be home about 5 o'clock. We went back to the car and waited. At 4:30 p.m., Henry Beckel returned from work. He drove into the yard, and we met him at the back door.
So you're here again.
That's right. Let's go in the house, Beckel.
You want it.
Go ahead.
You want to tell me what this is all about now?
We'd like to talk to Jerry first.
Well, if you want to see him, why didn't you go over to his school?
We did. He wasn't there today.
Kid's up to his old tricks again.
Oh, they found you.
This is my wife.
We've met. What's the trouble?
Jerry again. He wasn't in school today.
Is that all? We should get out of the kitchen so I can fix supper.
Yeah. You guys want to come on into the other room?
All right. While we're waiting for your son, I wonder if you'd get that gun for us.
Why I should?
You got no choice, fella.
It's in the closet.
You said that before. Now, where is it?
Over there.
Where?
It's in that box, a small flat one.
This one here?
Yeah.
When's the last time you fired this?
I don't know. It's been quite a while.
What do you think?
It smells like it was fired recently.
What time does Jerry usually get home, Beckel?
We eat at 5:30. He'll be here by then.
Uh-huh.
You don't have to worry about him not showing up. He might skip school, but that fat, lazy slob won't miss a meal.
Mm-hmm.
Eats twice as much as the other kids. No wonder he looks like he does.
Let's go.
Right.
Go on in and wash your face.
Hi, son.
Hi. What do you want?
Afraid we're going to have to take you with us.
Can he eat first?
It won't hurt him any to miss a meal. Look at him. Looks like a fat toad. Well, why don't you say
All
something?
right. Doesn't make any difference. You'd like to be rid of me anyway.
Take it easy, son.
You all want to hear it? Okay, I'll tell you. I shot her.
We took Jerry Beckel down to Georgia Street for further questioning. After the outbreak at his home, he quieted down and he refused to say anything more. We talked to him for an hour, and he finally admitted the whole story.
All right, son, why'd you take the gun?
To get some money, I guess.
And now, was that the only way you could get it?
I don't know.
You could have gotten a job.
I tried to.
Yeah?
Nobody wanted me.
Well, how many people do you ask for work?
Just one place.
And then you gave up.
That was enough. I knew I wouldn't get a job.
Did they tell you they wouldn't give you work?
Didn't have to. I knew just the way they looked at me.
Did you ever ask your father for money?
Yeah. Never gave me, and he just read me off.
What did he say to you?
What he always does. I'm fat, lazy, not good for anything but put my feet under the table and eat.
So you decided to get out and rob somebody, huh?
Yeah.
Why'd you shoot at the woman?
I'm not sure.
Well, she didn't do you any harm, did she?
No. She made me mad, laughed at me, just like all the rest.
She did, huh?
Sure. Because I'm fat.
She say that?
No. I could tell what she was thinking.
You could, huh?
People shouldn't laugh at somebody just because they're fat.
Yeah.
They got no right to do that.
Maybe. But how much did you have?
Huh?
When you shot her?
The story you have just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On July 14th, trial was held in Department 98, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. Jerome Howard Beckel was remanded to the juvenile authorities and placed in the foster home, where he was assured of 24-hour supervision. One of the conditions of his probation was that he receive psychiatric aid by a doctor appointed by the court.
Dragnet The story of your police force in action is a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.
Dragnet. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned a robbery detail. For the past 10 days, a gunman has been terrorizing the downtown area of your city. You know he's armed and dangerous. Your job? Stop him. The documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Tuesday, October 5th. It was raining in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out of robbery detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Chief of Detective Staff Brown. My name's Friday. I was on my way back from Metropolitan Division. It was 7:56 p.m. when I got to City Hall. Robbery squad room.
Hey, buddy, you didn't have to make a special trip in to bring the tie.
Well, I might have forgot it tomorrow and left it in the car again. Here you are.
Oh, thanks. Hey, the card's still in the box, you want?
No.
Hey, look at this. Real pretty. So good with my brown suit. Real silk, too, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty clever idea, putting a name on a tie like that. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to do the same thing with ink and paper when I was a kid. You know, put a gob of ink on the paper and then fold it over.
Mm-hmm.
You get some pretty weird-looking pictures. This name business makes a nice, neat tie pattern, don't you think, Joe?
Yeah, if you don't mind the switch.
On the name, you mean?
Yeah.
No. Unless you're looking for it, you wouldn't know it said Joe Friday. Here, take a look. See? This is how it's going to be when I'm wearing it. It's kind of hard to see.
Yeah, well, as long as you're satisfied, you're the one that's going to wear it.
Well, sure. Looks great to me. Of course, if you're going to turn your head sideways and read it, then you can see it says Joe Friday, but I don't think people are going to go to all that trouble. You think so?
No, I don't think so. You talk Stoner?
Yeah, says they'll meet us later.
All right, better get going, huh?
Yeah.
Want to get your coat? It's coming down pretty hard out there.
Right. You think it'll keep the suspect inside?
I don't know. It isn't going to work for us. Hot shot, I got it. Let's go. 211 at Flower and 14th. Frank and I left the office and drove out to the address. It was a small neighborhood liquor store. In spite of the heavy rain, a large crowd had already gathered in front of the place. We parked our car and tried to get into the store. Let us through here, folks, please.
Now, stop pushing. There's no reason to give you a special pass.
Police officer, let us through.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know.
It's all right. Let us through here.
I've been around, seen a lot of tough guys, but there was something wrong with this fellow.
Back there, Joe. Now.
You call the ambulance yet? Can't we do something for poor Claude? Don't just let him lay there.
You from downtown? That's right. Friday and Smith sent for robbery. Did you answer the call? Me and my partner. That him outside? That's right. You get a description? It's out. Okay.
Ain't anybody going to ask me what happened?
Yes, sir. Just a minute, please.
Seems all you fellas are interested in is what the guy looked like. Don't nobody want to know what happened?
Yes, sir, we do. If you'll wait just a minute, please.
No choice.
Anything more I can do here? No, not right now.
Okay. I'll be outside if you need anything.
Right, thanks. All right, sir, you want to tell us?
About time.
What's that?
All this running around and yelling. Wonder you fellas don't catch anybody. Don't slow down long enough for me to tell you what happened.
Uh-huh. You want to go ahead?
Worst thing I ever saw in my whole life. Most terrible.
Yes, sir. Were you alone in the store when the shooting occurred?
No.
Well, who else was there?
Claude, Anita, and me.
Claude's the victim,
Yeah. That's him there.
Yes, sir.
Don't you think somebody ought to do something for him? Seems like the ambulance ought to be here.
Well, he's dead, sir.
Claude?
That's right.
You've got to catch the fellow who done this. Most brutal thing I ever saw. No reason for any of it. That guy was off his rocker.
You mentioned somebody named Anita. Is she still here?
Yeah, in the back room. She wasn't feeling too good. Almost scared her half to death. Went back there to take an aspirin and lay down, scared.
I wonder if we could talk to her.
You have to?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll go get her. You just wait here. Anita? Anita? It's me, Hanley. Can you come out? Policeman. They want to talk to you.
We don't like to bother you, lady. We'll try to be as brief as possible.
It's all right.
Would you give us your name?
This is Miss Anita Blaine. I'm Hanley Dawson. I don't think you told us your names.
Miss Frank Smith, my name's Friday.
Hello.
How you doing?
Is there anything we can get for you, Miss Blaine?
No, I'm all right now.
All right. Would you tell us what happened?
We was back of the counter playing a game of cribbage.
You and the victim?
Yeah, me and Claude. His full name's Claude Langford. We was there playing the game.
Were you in the store at the time?
No, I came in later.
I'm trying to tell you in the right order. Can't do it if you're going to keep interrupting.
All right, you go right ahead.
Oh, we were having a good game. Claude was ahead, already made the first turn. Oh, my crib and I really had a good hand. Might have caught him.
Yes, sir.
We were just about to play the hand when the door opened. Kind of surprising.
Why is that?
Didn't figure anybody'd be out on a night like this.
I see.
It was this young kid.
All right, go ahead.
Come in and ask me where we kept the canned nuts. You know, cashews and almonds.
Yes, sir.
Pointed it out for him. He went over to have a look.
Mm-hmm.
Claude and me started back to the game, but the kid found what he wanted, and he come up to the counter.
All right.
I got up to wait on him. Handed me a $5 bill for 2 cans of peanuts.
Yeah.
Opened the register to get change. That's when he pulled the gun.
Now, where'd he have the gun?
In his overcoat pocket. It was funny, though. And not funny, ha-ha, but funny. Odd. You know?
How do you mean that?
Well, you know how most raincoats have a little slit in the pocket so you can reach into your pants pockets without unbuttoning your raincoat?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Well, the kid unbuttoned his coat and reached right through the slit with the gun. Kind of like this. See? See?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Now, what did he say when he showed you the gun?
Like this. This is a stick-up. Keep your mouth shut and you might not get hurt. Might. That's what he said.
Mm-hmm. What happened then?
Told both Claude and me to come out from behind the counter. Said for us to lay down on the floor.
Yeah.
We did like he said, you know. There was just something about that kid, so you had to go his way.
Mm-hmm.
He made us lay down right there, where Claude is now, on our stomachs.
Yeah, what happened then?
Went over and took the money out of the cash register. Then he really got sore. I thought he was going to explode.
Why, do you know?
Wasn't much for him to take, only about $20, $25. Guess he expected more.
I see.
He come over to where me and Claude were on the floor. Told us to take the money out of our pocket. Stood there with a gun pointed right at us. He was mad.
Mm-hmm. He did what he said.
You just bet we did. I only had about $6 on me. Gave it right to him, though.
Yeah.
That's when Anita here come into the store. Just walked in, like a rabbit into a fox's trap.
That's right. I didn't have any idea what was going on.
Couldn't you see through the door?
I guess I should have, but it was raining so hard I didn't take the time.
Glass was kind of steamed up, too. Made it tough to look in.
I see. Well, what happened when the hold-up man saw you?
He told me to keep my mouth shut, not to make a sound, and get down on the floor.
Just like us.
He
Mm-hmm.
grabbed my purse and took the wallet out, went through it and took the money.
How much was it?
Just a couple of dollars. I came over to get a bottle of wine, and I only took what I needed.
All right. You want to go on?
He started on Claude. Told him to empty his pockets.
Yeah.
Claude didn't take too kindly to the way this fellow was acting. If he'd just come in and taken the money, it might have been different. But Claude don't like to be shoved around.
Yeah.
He did like the kid told him, though. Emptied his pockets right out.
I see, sir.
Well, you'd just figure the man was real sore when he saw how much money he was going to get.
Yeah.
You see, Claude don't work. He's got some kind of pension. All alone in the world, he usually don't have much money. Main reason he comes over to play cards. He ain't got nothing else to do. And it's free.
Mm-hmm. How much do you have on him tonight?
37 cents. Kid saw that. I thought sure he's going to kill us all.
He sure acted like it.
Then he figured maybe Claude was holding out on him. Told him to turn his pockets inside out.
He did like he was told.
Yeah.
When he did, something fell out of his pocket. A coin hit the floor and rolled around, disappeared under the counter over there.
The man with the gun saw it and got real mad. Said Claude tried to get away with something. Said for him to go pick up the coin.
Claude told him if he wanted it that bad, he could get it himself.
Yeah.
Fellow just looked at Claude for a minute, and then put the gun right against his head. Right here, see? Didn't say a word. Just pulled the trigger.
He was crazy.
No reason for it. Claude must have been dead when he hit the floor.
Just brutal.
What did you do then?
Ran outside.
Did you try and follow him?
No, sir. Me and Anita were trying to see if there was anything we could do for Claude.
Did the man get into a car, do you know?
I didn't see. Might have, but I didn't see it.
Did you hear a car?
No.
Uh-huh. Have you ever seen the man around here before?
Not that I remember. A lot of people go by the door. Hard to pick one, make it stand out.
You'd know him again if you saw him, though, would you?
I think so.
I would.
Ma'am?
Never forget the way he looked at me. Like some kind of animal.
I see.
Something about his eyes. He looked crazy, real wild.
Well, how do you mean that?
Well, he wasn't looking right at us. Like there was somebody standing behind me. He was looking at them. He couldn't focus, you know.
I know what you mean.
Say, did you see the coin that Langford dropped?
No, just heard it hit the floor.
Uh-huh.
Find it?
I think so. Look, it doesn't make much sense. Take a look at it.
Yeah.
What is it?
Streetcar token. The men from the crime lab arrived and photographed the store. Diagrams were made showing the position of the body, and the premises were checked thoroughly. The victims were taken to the city hall to check the mug book. They were unable to make an identification. A canvass was started to the immediate area in the hope that we might be able to turn up a witness to the shooting. One of the uniformed officers talked to a newsboy who had seen a man run from the liquor store. Frank and I went down to talk to him.
Yeah, I saw him. I heard this noise like a backfire, and then this fella came out of the store and started to run down the street.
You get a good look at him?
No, he went down that way, away from me.
You see if he got into a car?
No, he ran around the corner. I didn't think a lot about it till after the whole thing was over.
Could you describe him for us?
No, I just got to look at his back. Nothing about that'd stand out.
Uh-huh.
Might talk to that girl, though.
What girl?
Well, when the fella ran out of the store, he almost knocked her down, ran right by her.
You know who she is?
Not right out. Sure feel like I do.
How do you mean?
I see her every week.
Where's that?
Home every Saturday night.
What's that?
She's on television.
From the witness, we got the time of day of the television show. We contacted the network and obtained the information that the girl's name was Betty Martin. They went on to tell us that she was working in a nightclub in Beverly Hills. Frank and I drove out to see her. She was sitting at a table talking to some people, and we asked the waiter to tell her we'd like to see her.
Hello, you want to see me?
Yes, ma'am. Will you sit down, please?
Thank you.
Here, I'll get that chair for you.
What can I do for you?
We're police officers, Miss Martin. This is Frank Smith. My name's Friday. How do you do?
Hello.
We understand that you're in the area of 14th and Flower tonight. Is that right?
That's right. Why?
Well, there was a hold-up and shooting down there. It's possible that you might have seen the man who did it.
Well, I don't think so. My manager and I went down there to listen to a group that's playing, but as far as I know, I didn't see anybody else. Oh, excuse me. I'll be right back. If you wait until I'm finished, I'll tell you what I can.
Well, it's rather important, Miss Martin. We'll wait.
Well, so's my job. I'll do one phone, and then I'll be back.
Right. Thank you.
Excuse me.
That's sure a pretty song.
Oh, thank you very much. It's a new song written by a fellow named Arthur Hamilton.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Now, what's this about a man I'm supposed to have seen?
Well, we told you there was a shooting at 14th and Flower.
Uh-huh.
Well, one of the people in the neighborhood recognized you, and he tells us that the suspect ran right by you. Is that right?
Gee, I don't remember. Just a minute. Oh, now I remember. Yeah, he ran out of the store, almost knocked me down, didn't even stop to say anything.
Did you get a good look at him?
Well, he ran into me.
Can you tell us anything about him?
Well, I'm afraid not. I didn't pay any attention. It's something that happens and you don't think about it, you know.
Yes, ma'am. Would you know the man if you saw him again?
I don't think so. The whole thing happened so fast.
There's nothing about him that you remember.
No, unless it was his eyes.
Ma'am?
Well, his eyes, like he was looking right through you.
11:46 p.m. Frank and I went back downtown. The search for the killer had spread throughout the city. Additional units from all divisions were called in to help. From the description given us by the victims and witnesses, it appeared more than likely that the suspect was a narcotics user. If this was true, it was more than possible that he'd cut down anybody who got in his way. Frank and I contacted the office and talked to Captain Donahoe. He'd taken over the search for the gunman. Because it was impossible to cover all of the liquor stores in the area, it was decided to ask the owners to close. Frank and I were assigned to places along Vermont Avenue. The first 6 stores we contacted cooperated. By the time we got to the 7th, the rain had stopped. We parked the car in front of the place and walked in. At first, there was no one in sight, but then in the storeroom, we found the owner. He was lying on the floor, his head buried in his arms.
You go away. Leave me alone.
You all right?
I am now. I want to stay that way. Now, you get out of here.
Look, we're police officers. What's the matter with you?
Now, don't try that with me. I know who you are. You got all the money. There's no more to take.
Come on, this is no joke, fella.
Now, listen. I remember what you said. I ain't going to get up from here for another 2 minutes. I can see my watch. Still got 2 minutes.
Come on, get your head up from the floor. You can see this card.
Huh?
It's an identification card. Here, see it?
Are you sure?
Well, you're looking at it.
Now, look, if this is a joke, I'm not going to like it.
Come on. Don't worry about it. Now, get up. Come on.
Well, it's about time you got here. It's a terrible thing when a man's robbing his own store and nobody's going to take the time to protect him.
You were held up tonight?
Yes, sir, not more than 3 minutes ago. Guy left. He told me to stay where I was for 5 minutes.
What did he look like?
Huh?
The man who held you up, can you describe him for us?
Yeah, a young kid, just out of his teens, roaming around the streets, threatening citizens. You cops ought to do something about it.
What did he look like?
Well, he was dark, black hair, black eyes, wildest looking eyes you ever saw. One look at him, you know he meant what he said. Stay put, and I did.
I'll call him.
All right.
What's he going to do?
Put out a broadcast.
For the hold-up man?
That's it.
Well, I don't want to tell you your business, but it sure seems like a waste of time.
What's that?
Well, if he hears it, he ain't going to give himself up.
The broadcast was put out to all units. From the description given by the victim, we were sure it was the suspect. All of the cars on the perimeter of the search area were drawn in, and the entire vicinity was surrounded. It took a little over 20 minutes to get the cars into position. Frank talked with Captain Donahoe at the corner of Vermont Avenue and Beverly Boulevard. After the meeting, he came back to the car.
Well, that does it.
Yeah?
Area's secure.
Were they trying to nail him down?
No. We figured to keep the area surrounded, wait till morning, and then move in. You think he's still here?
We'll know in 3 hours. The preliminary search of the neighborhood netted nothing, and the area was secured for the night. The rain kept up. All officers involved in the operation were kept on duty. At 6:20 a.m., the circle began to tighten. House by house, the space where the killer could be hiding was eliminated. All cars into and out of the area were stopped and searched. 7:15 a.m., the perimeter began to narrow. At 8:46 a.m., a call went out to all units.
All units on special detail in the vicinity of Vermont Avenue and Beverly Boulevard. Regarding the suspect wanted for murder, possible suspect believed to be in the vicinity of Vermont and Catalina Street. Attention, all units. Special detail. Regarding the suspect wanted for murder, possible suspect believed to be in the vicinity of Catalina Street and Vermont Avenue.
That's us.
Yeah.
Be a break if it's him.
Right.
All units on special detail in the vicinity of Vermont Avenue and Beverly Boulevard. Regarding the suspect wanted for murder, possible suspect believed to be in the vicinity of Vermont and Catalina Street. Attention, all units. Special detail. Regarding the suspect wanted for murder, possible suspect believed to be in the vicinity of Catalina
Sure doesn't
Street
make
and
sense.
Vermont Avenue.
Why do you kill a man for a streetcar token?
report received by the complaint board, a woman in the vicinity had seen someone run through her backyard. When she shouted at the person, he continued running and disappeared into the alley. All cars in the area converged, and a complete search was started. As time went on, the possible hiding places narrowed, and finally the suspect was left with less than a block in which to conceal himself. Frank and I joined the officers on foot. After 20 minutes, we found ourselves in the backyard of one of the houses on the street.
Looks like a chicken house back there. Better check it, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
You got it covered?
Yeah. Joe.
Sure. All right, come on out. Keep your hands where we can see him.
Don't shoot now. Please don't shoot. I get...
Stand still. Right where you are.
I'm doing like you say. Don't shoot.
All right, get up against that wall. Come on. Put your hands up there. On the wall.
38 revolver.
I'd have given it to you. I don't want any trouble.
Always works out that way, doesn't it?
What do you mean?
You guys are big as long as you're holding the gun. As soon as somebody else has got it, you fall apart, don't you?
I don't want no lectures, cop. Just take me in. That's all you got to do. Take me in and make a bookie.
We'll do that.
We'll end up on a limb anyway. You got nothing to hold me on.
Is that so?
Yeah, I've been around cops a long time. I learned it the hard way. Don't tell them nothing. That's the way to make it. Don't tell them nothing.
Well, you missed one of the big points.
Huh?
This gun you were carrying.
Yeah?
Maybe that'll tell us. The suspect was taken to the city hall. He was mugged and fingerprinted. From his prints, we identified him as Max Hanford. He had a record listing several arrests for violation of the State Narcotic Act and 2 counts robbery. However, he'd never served time on any of the charges. We talked to him for an hour without result. 10:40 a.m.
Why don't you leave me alone? I got nothing for you guys.
Well, you keep believing that. We got people coming in who are going to lay it on you.
For what?
211 and murder.
You're out of your mind.
We got you made on all counts, any way you slice it.
You're on the needle, cop.
Is that so?
Yeah, you got one beef on me. Most you can take me for is stealing chickens. You sit down and try to think what a judge is going to say when you read that off in court.
All right, Hanford, you keep that smile on your face. You go right on believing that we can't press a charge that'll stick. Now, we got a half a dozen people on the way in here. They'll point you out in a crowd. And as soon as they do, we'll drop you in a cell and hold you ISO. Won't be long till that yen gets so big you'll be yelling for us to turn you loose.
You got it all figured, haven't you?
That's right down the line. You're a height. You're hooked, and you're hooked bad. Everything's working for us. You go through the cure, and you'll tell us what we want to know, and you'll be glad you got the chance to talk. We don't need your help. We're home free without you. You keep up the way you're acting, see how far it gets you.
You really figure you can box me in?
Without a door.
When'd you call the people?
What's that?
To point me out.
A little while ago.
Well, can you get them before they leave home?
Why?
No reason for them to make a trip. I'll give it to you.
You want a stenographer?
Might as well. I got nothing to lose. I'll give you the story.
I'll get it. Go ahead.
Lousy deal.
Is that right?
Yeah, I didn't want to kill that fella, you know.
Well, why'd you do it?
I was high. I just had a pop. I felt like I owned the world. Maybe pretty sure to think the guy was holding out on me. I guess you think that's a pretty bad reason.
That's right.
People don't understand. You get a bad habit working on you, you'd do anything to feed it.
Is that right?
Sure, you let me talk to anybody. Let me tell them what it means to have a supply shut off. I'll tell them what it's like. I don't care who it is. You put me in front of a jury, I'll tell them.
Yeah, well, you'll get the chance.
I'll tell them it wasn't my fault I got hooked on this stuff. That's why I did it. I'll tell them.
Well, while you're at it, you can tell them something else.
What?
Why you started taking narcotics.
The story you have just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On February 16th, trial was held in Department 97, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles.
Max Gifford Hanford was tried and convicted of murder in the first degree and received sentence as prescribed by law. Because the jury failed to return a recommendation for clemency, he received the maximum sentence and was put to death in the lethal gas chamber at the State Penitentiary, San Quentin, California.
You have just heard Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action, and starring Jack Webb, a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.
story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to forgery detail. For the past several months, a man posing as an actor has been passing worthless checks in your city. You've got a description of the suspect, but no lead to his whereabouts. Your job, get him.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Tuesday, January 10th. It was foggy in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of forgery division. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Welch. My name's Friday. I was on my way back to the office from a cup of coffee. It was 4:12 p.m. when I got to forgery. The squad
I told her to report it herself. Told her it was her duty as a citizen. It is a duty, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am. Hi, Joe.
Hi.
Mrs. Neskett, this is my partner, Sergeant Friday.
Mrs. Neskett?
No, Sergeant.
Seems Mrs. Neskett's mother got stuck with a bum check, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
She's a landlady out on
Well,
Western.
not a landlady, exactly. Only rents a couple of rooms, more for company than anything. Dad left her plenty to get by on.
Yes, ma'am.
And we'd help her out if it was necessary. Dick and me. Dick's my husband. We'd help her out.
Mm-hmm.
So far, she's managed pretty well by herself, but if she pulls any more fool stunts like this... Sony has a $3 bill. See right there? No such account. Big as life, stamped all over it.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't understand her. I just don't understand it at all.
Well, anybody can take a bad check, Mrs. Neskett, no matter how careful they are. Even with good identification, you can be fooled.
When they do, they report it, don't they?
Well, yes, ma'am, usually.
Look at the date. Way last December, over a month ago.
Yeah.
Over a month ago, and she hasn't done a thing about it. Didn't intend to either. Didn't even want me to know. Good thing I started early this year.
Early, ma'am?
On her income tax. How I found out about the check.
Oh.
I used to work in a tax office, so I always make out Mother's return. If I didn't do it, I don't know who could. Doesn't keep any records. Just stubs and a few bills. Well, someday they'll audit her and she'll find out.
Well, why didn't your mother report this check herself, you know?
You tell me. The man had an honest face. That's about all I can get out of her.
How'd she happen to take it?
It was supposed to be for his first month's rent.
Well, and she's not out any cash.
Sure she's out cash. $20. That's what she's out. He made the check for $70. A month's rent's only $50. Not a lot of money, but $20 is $20.
Yes, ma'am.
There's the principal, too.
Yeah.
An actor or something like that.
Ma'am?
The fellow gave it to her. Mother says she remembered his name from the movies. That's how she happened to take the check. I don't see why she'd trust an actor any more than she would somebody else.
Can I see that, please?
Mm-hmm.
Parker Allington. You ever hear of him, Joe?
Allington?
Uh-huh.
Well, I think it sounds familiar. It was in pictures when I was a kid, I believe.
Oh?
As I remember, I never cared much for him, though. If it's the same guy, the parts he played.
What do you mean?
Heavies. We ran the name Parker Allington through R&I, and we turned up one package listing a drunk arrest in 1935. We called the Screen Actors Guild to see if they could help locate him. They said they'd check, and they asked us to call back in an hour. 4:30 p.m. We left the office and drove out to the Western Avenue address Mrs. Neskett had given us. It was a 2-story Spanish stucco with a rooms for rent sign in the front window.
Somebody's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Miss Crimp?
Yes.
We're police officers. This is Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
Police officer?
That's right, ma'am.
Anita.
Beg pardon?
My daughter, Anita. She sent you.
Yes, ma'am.
I told her not to. She never does anything I tell her. Never has.
Be all right if we come in?
Living room's a mess.
Don't worry about it, ma'am.
I was just putting away the ornaments from the tree. It was raining last week when I took it down, and I couldn't get out to the garage.
Yes, ma'am.
I won't press any charges.
Well, that's up to you.
Not against that poor man, I won't. And you can't force me to press charges.
No, ma'am.
Suppose you tell us about the check.
Isn't much to tell.
Your daughter says this man Allington gave it to you for rent.
Here, and to get that box out of the way so you'll have some place to sit.
I'll take care of it then. All right, I'll put it here.
Oh, yes, fine, thanks.
The check was for rent, is that right?
That's right.
When did you take it?
Last month sometime. A week or so before Christmas. The date's on it, isn't it?
December 9th?
Oh, that's what it says.
Have you ever seen Ellington before? You ever met up with him?
Not in person. I may have seen him in pictures. He said he'd been in a lot of pictures. He seems familiar.
Well, now, ma'am, how'd he happen to come here to rent a room?
We saw the sign out in front of the window. He was living in a hotel downtown and was out this way visiting friends.
Did he mention the name of the hotel?
No, I don't think so.
What about the people he was visiting?
Well, what about them?
Well, did he tell you who they were?
Well, he may have. I couldn't say for sure. Not now.
Now, you said he saw the sign.
In the window.
Yes, ma'am.
He came in and asked about the room, but was still for rent. I showed it to him. Upstairs in front, with a real nice view.
He agreed to take it, did he?
Straight off. Said he used to live in a house something like this when he first came to California years ago when his wife was alive. Sort of reminded him of better times. That's how he put it.
And he gave you this check for the first month's rent?
Yes. I suppose Nita already told you. He made it out for $20 extra.
Why was that?
Well, he needed some cash money to hire a cab and move his things out here.
And you gave him the cash, hmm?
$20. I couldn't turn him down.
Why not?
Well, he just seemed honest, that's all. You can tell when a person's honest.
Yeah, sometimes.
And he was so anxious to get the room. He wanted to be all moved in time for the holidays. He wanted to be with people, I suppose. Oh, I felt sorry for him.
Did you ask for any identification?
Oh, no, there wasn't any reason. I recognized his name. Besides, he was going to be living here. If there wasn't anything wrong with his check, he'd be around to make it right.
And you never heard from him again?
Now, that doesn't mean he was trying to cheat me.
Well, it looks that way, ma'am.
Now, you folks are policemen. It's your job to suspect people of being crooked, and I don't blame you. It's your job.
Yes, ma'am.
$20?
Ma'am?
$20. Is that reason to throw a man like Mr. Ellington in jail?
Well, it might be more than $20.
Well, that's all I gave him. Don't you believe me?
Yes, ma'am. This man has passed quite a few checks.
Well, I told you before. I won't press charges.
Yes, ma'am, you told us.
You don't understand. He didn't mean any harm.
You sure about that, Miss Crimp?
I'm a pretty good judge of human nature. I ought to be by now.
Yes, ma'am.
He's had lots of troubles, Mr. Ellington.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of troubles. An actor like him probably pulled down a fancy salary and never had any worries. Now it's all gone. All his money, his wife, everything. If he'd never been rich, it wouldn't be so hard. You don't miss something you've never had.
Yeah.
If you're finished with me, I'd like to get on with my housework.
Mind if we use your phone?
Well, it's in the hall. I'll show you.
That's all right. I'll find it. Thank you.
You know, I didn't mean any offense, Mrs. Stern.
Oh, I suppose it's just your job. There's some cookies there. Will you do?
I'd like to, but no.
They're homemade.
That's very good, but I'm sort of...
Go on.
Miss Breckhart, please. I'll wait if you don't mind. Thank you. Hello, Miss Breckhart. This is Sergeant Friday. I spoke to you a little while ago about Parker Ellington. Yeah, that's right. You asked me to call back. Uh-huh. When was that? Oh, I see. Yes, it certainly does. You bet. Thank you very much. Right. Goodbye.
I remember this kind when I was a kid. My mom used to make it for Christmas.
Oh, well, maybe you'd like to take a few home with you. I've got plenty extra.
Well, thanks anyway. They wouldn't let me inside the front door if I showed up with an armload of cookies. You ready, Joe?
Yeah. We'd like you to come with us, Miss Crimp.
Me? Well, what on earth for?
I want to see if you can identify the man who gave you that check.
You mean you've already arrested him?
No, ma'am.
Well, I don't understand.
Well, we want to show you some mug shots, some photographs.
You want me to pick out Mr. Ellington's pictures?
If you can.
Now, that's silly. You don't need me for that. The studios must have pictures of him, and newspapers. Why, that's downright silly.
It wasn't Ellington, ma'am.
What?
The fellow who passed that check.
What'd you find out?
Ellington died 3 years ago. Miss Breckhart at the Screen Actors Guild had checked with a motion picture relief home. They reported that Ellington had lived there from 1949 until a heart attack caused his death several years later. We managed to convince Mrs. Crimp that she'd been taken by a professional swindler. Down at City Hall, we showed her mug shots of known bad check artists.
No, that's not him.
Oh, how about this one?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure not. No, that's not him either. He's older.
Well, the picture might be out of date.
Even so.
Well, that's it. Well,
Miss Crimp.
Yes?
Could you describe him for us?
Well, he was medium-sized. Little taller than you are, maybe.
Yeah.
how old would you say he was?
Oh, about in his 60s.
Gray hair?
That's right.
Any marks or scars?
No, not that I noticed.
How about his eyes?
Beg pardon?
What color were his eyes?
Well, I couldn't say. Was only there for a few minutes.
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
He just seemed like an average man. For his age, gentleman, nice looking, sort of distinguished.
Anything else about him?
No, except for his expression.
What do you mean?
He was kind of sad, unhappy, like he'd been through a lot. Guess that won't help you, though.
Good night.
Is that all?
Yes, ma'am. We'll take you home now.
Officer.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you mind doing me a favor? I'd appreciate it.
What is it, Miss Crimp?
Don't tell my daughter about all this. I mean that it wasn't Mr. Allenton. That I let somebody trick me. She'd say it proves that I'm not able to take care of myself. I'd never hear the end of it. She treats me like a child, as it is. Now, you don't have to tell her, do you?
No, ma'am.
I'd sure appreciate it. Not that she doesn't have my best interests at heart, but nobody likes to be criticized all the time, especially by their own flesh and blood. You got any children, Sergeant?
No, ma'am.
Well, then you don't understand how I feel.
Yes, ma'am. Maybe I do.
You couldn't.
We drove Miss Crimp to her home, and then we checked out for the night. By the end of the week, 2 more landladies in the Western Avenue area had reported receiving bad checks from a man who claimed to be Parker Allington. Their stories tallied almost word for word with what Miss Crimp had told us. January 13th, 4:45 p.m. Frank and I checked back into the office after an interview with one of the victims.
You'd think that guy would wise up. Can't go on using a dead actor's name forever. Somebody's going to catch on.
Well, they haven't so far.
Well, sooner or later.
Thought you were on a diet.
Huh?
I thought you were on a diet.
Well, Joe, I got to keep up my strength.
Yeah.
Person needs a certain amount of sugar.
Mm-hmm.
It's not so high on calories. Read an article the other day. Teaspoonful of sugar, only 35 calories.
Have you lost any weight yet?
No, I'm holding my own.
You haven't lost any, though.
No, I don't want to get thin, Joe. Just sort of watching it, that's all.
Mm-hmm. Forgery, Friday. Yes, ma'am, this is the right extension. Could you speak up a little, please? I can't hear you. Now, just a minute. All right, go ahead, please. That's 2238? Yes, ma'am, I had it. Yes, ma'am, right away. Well, looks like you had it figured.
How come?
Somebody did catch on. Woman over near Los Feliz Boulevard.
Yeah?
Fellow's trying to give her a phony check.
Trying?
Yeah, he's still there. Frank and I drove out to a side street just south of Los Feliz Boulevard. It took us 20 minutes to get to the house. When we pulled up in front of the place, a lady was standing on the porch. She spotted our car and walked down the steps.
You the policeman?
Yes, ma'am. My name's Friday. This is Frank Smith.
Hello, how are
How
you?
you doing, ma'am?
You certainly didn't hurry.
Well, the traffic's kind of heavy this time of day.
Well, why didn't you use your siren?
We didn't want to scare him off.
Well, it's too late for that. He left about 10, 15 minutes ago. Oh, I'm Daisy Williker. Suppose you need that name for your record.
Yes, Mrs. Wilkers.
Not Mrs.
Oh.
You see which way he went?
He took a bus on the corner, probably in Hollywood by now.
Well, why'd he leave in such a rush, you know?
Got suspicious. Might have heard my phone call. I had to talk so loud to make you understand me. I tried to keep him here as long as I could. I did my best. You can't ask more than that.
No, ma'am, thanks.
Well, you might as well come inside. Suppose you want a full report. That's the regular procedure, isn't it?
Are you familiar with police procedure, are you?
Watched on television, go to the movies. They got it all down pat.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, he came up to my door. Oh, must have been an hour ago by now. At least an hour.
Yes, ma'am.
Asked if I had a room for rent. I told him that's what the sign said. He just laughed, like he thought I'd been making a joke. Didn't know I was serious.
You show him the room?
Well, I tried to. He hardly even glanced at it. Then he said this was exactly what he'd been looking for. That's when I first began wondering about him.
What else did he say?
That he used to live in a house like this when he was a little boy back east, and that it reminded him of home. I figured he was softening me up to get me to lower the rent. Well, two can play at that game.
Yes, ma'am. What did you do?
Well, I upped it $10. Room's not worth a cent over 45. I asked 55.
Mm-hmm.
That way I'd be able to come down when he started playing on my sympathies. Wouldn't be out anything either.
Yeah.
Didn't bat an eye. When I told him it was 55. Said he'd take it, just like that. I knew right away something was wrong.
What happened then?
Well, we came downstairs into the living room here.
Go ahead, please.
Well, I said I wanted the first month's rent in advance. A lot of them try to pay you by the week. Before you can turn around, they're behind. Takes forever to get rid of them once they're moved in. I always insist on a full month.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, didn't bat an eye at that either. Brought out a checkbook.
Now, did he ask if he could make it for a little extra?
How'd you know?
Well, he's been around before.
25 extra. That's what he wanted. If he'd been around so long, why haven't you picked him up?
Well, we're trying, ma'am.
few minutes earlier this afternoon, he'd solved the whole case.
Well, we're just as anxious to solve it as you are, Miss Wilkers.
Did he say why he needed the extra cash, ma'am?
Something about cab fare to get his things out here.
That's a lot of cab fare.
That's my own words, right to his face, exactly what I said. He said he'd have to clear up his hotel bill, too. Claimed they wouldn't take a check if he was moving.
And that's when you called us.
Of course not. Didn't call you until I was sure the check was no good. Not that I would have cashed it. But there's no point in running to the police until you got the facts to back you up.
Mm-hmm. What made you so sure it was phony?
Well, the way he signed it.
What do you mean?
Parker Allington.
You knew he wasn't Allington.
Well, how could he be? Allington's dead. You didn't know he was dead?
Yes, ma'am, we knew it.
Well, then.
Miss Wilkers, are you connected with show business?
I follow it, that's all. Oh, I don't spend all my time reading movie magazines or anything like that. But I keep up with what's going on in the field. Do you know Allington was on television last night?
What's that?
The Late Show. Picture must have been at least 20 years old. He played the villain. Did a good job considering it was 20 years ago. Gives you a funny feeling, though, watching somebody who isn't here anymore.
Yes, ma'am. Now, as soon as you saw the name Allington on the check, you realized the guy was a phony and called us. Is that right?
Well, approximately.
Approximately.
Well, I told him I didn't know if I had the cash in the house. Said I'd have to go upstairs and make sure. I got an extension phone up there.
I see.
Then I telephoned you.
Uh-huh. One more thing, Miss Walters.
Well?
We've got a description, but it's rather vague.
Description?
Yes, that this guy's been passing himself off as Allington.
Oh.
All we know is he's medium-sized, gray hair, and fairly well dressed.
Well, that's about right.
But it's not very specific.
Can you add anything?
You mean you want to know who he is?
That's right.
Wilbur French.
Who's that?
Used to play bit parts in pictures.
Yeah.
I recognized him the minute he came through the door.
Miss Wilkers insisted her identification of the check forger was correct. We drove back to the office, checked the name Wilbur French through R&I. We had nothing on him. I telephoned Miss Breckhart at the SAG. She reported that French was a member in bad standing, 2 years delinquent in his dues. She had no address listed for him, but she was able to tell us that the last company he had worked for was a small TV outfit on Santa Monica Boulevard. She also told us that his file showed that he was last represented by a Paul Pilcher, an agent with offices on Sunset. January 14th, 9:35 a.m. I dropped Frank off at the Santa Monica TV company, and I drove on out to interview Pilcher.
Yes, sir. What can I do for you?
I'd like to see Mr. Pilcher.
Are you a client?
Police officer. My name's Friday.
Oh,
Mr. Pilcher in?
not yet.
You expecting him?
Well, I don't know when exactly. Sometimes he plays tennis on Saturday mornings before he comes to the office.
I see.
But he'll be in. He's closing a deal with TRC.
Oh?
That's a studio, a new company just getting started.
I see.
Would you like to look at the trades while you're waiting? Yesterday's. They don't come out on Saturday.
Well, thank you very much.
Mr. Pilcher in some kind of trouble?
No, as far as I know, no.
That's a relief. Mr. Pilcher's office. I'm sorry he hasn't come in yet. Any minute. Would you like me to have him call you? I see. Well, if you'll try again in about 15 minutes, you ought to be here. Bye. Morning, Mr. Pilcher.
Good morning.
This gentleman's waiting to see you. And Mr. Brogan's office called. They'll call back. Mr. Brogan's getting shaved.
Yeah, all right. I'm a police officer. My name's Friday.
Police?
That's right.
What can I do for you?
I'd like to talk to you for a minute.
All right, come on inside. Sit down.
Thank you.
Want a cigarette?
Yeah, thank you.
Here's the lighter.
Never mind, I have a match here.
Well?
You handle an actor named Wilbur French, Mr. Pilcher.
French?
That's right.
No, I don't handle him.
You used to be his agent, didn't you?
Oh, a couple of years ago, not anymore.
Oh?
What's he done?
Could you tell me where I could find him?
I wouldn't have any idea. Don't think he's had much work lately. At least I haven't heard about him working.
What was his last address?
Now, you come to the wrong man.
Well, the last address that you have for him.
I don't keep addresses of actors after they leave me.
Well, why did it leave you?
Usual reason, no work. Pretty bad as an actor. Excuse me, huh? Yes? I'll put him on. Hello, George. How are you? Glad to hear it. And Mabel? Oh, that's a shame. Seems to be a lot of it going around this time of year. Well, what about Harvey? You make up your mind? Uh-huh. I sure don't agree with you there, George. He didn't look too old in the test. So he's been in the business a few years. You can't hold that against him. What do you mean a new face? You'll bring out somebody from New York who's been on television 100 times. There won't be anything new about his face. Look, I'm not trying to tell you your business. I'm just trying to set a good actor in the right part. I'll be through soon, Mr. Friday.
Yeah.
That's more like it, George. Now, how many weeks' work? No, George, I've read the script. Davis can't shoot that many scenes in 2 weeks. $1,200 a week, 4-week guarantee. Fletcher paid him $1,200 last fall. Go ahead and check. Look, George, if I was a Beverly Hills agent, you know what Harvey cost you? Well, I'm not going to argue about it. You call Fletcher. He'll tell you what he paid Harvey. I'll be here till noon if you want to make a deal. Bye. Sorry to be so long.
Sure. Any suggestions on how I might get in touch with French?
Screen Actors Guild.
Well, they sent me here.
Oh. Well, what's he done?
We'd rather talk to him.
Well, the last time I saw him, he touched me for $10.
Where was that?
I bumped into him on the street. Is it serious?
It's just a routine investigation. Thanks very much, Miss Pilcher.
Wait a minute.
Yes, sir?
I suppose I could turn him up. Be a dirty trick, though.
I don't know why.
Maybe it's my fault that he's in trouble. I didn't get him enough work. Now I hand him over to you. Makes me a heel, doesn't it?
Well, you might be doing him a favor.
Well, he won't think so.
You said you didn't know where he lived.
Well, I don't.
Well, how will you find out?
Spread the word around that I got a job for him. He'll hear about it.
I see.
He'll turn up.
All right, sir.
Leave your number. When I hear from French, I'll get in touch with you.
Thank you.
I still feel like a heel.
Well, you shouldn't. You called the turn on him.
Hmm?
He's a bad actor. I left Pilcher's office and picked up Frank. The TV company had given him a still photo from the last production in which French had appeared. 2 of the check victims readily identified the man in the picture. The third victim was also certain it was the same person who had posed as Allington. January 16th, 3:32 p.m. Paul Pilcher telephoned the office. He told us French was living at a hotel in Hollywood on Selma Avenue. When we got there, the desk clerk said French was in his room, 17B.
This is it.
Yeah.
Who is it?
I'd like to talk to you, French.
Just a minute. Yeah?
We're police officers.
Like to ask you some questions.
Downtown.
What is this, a gag?
No, it's no gag.
Well, anybody can get hold of a badge. Who sent you? Mike? Sammy?
Come on, let's go, French.
Knock it off. I've been in too many pictures. I can tell actors from cops.
You ever hear of Parker Allington?
Yeah, I've heard of him. Worked with him in pictures. Used to be friends.
I'd give you the right to sign his name.
On bad checks?
Now, look, boys, I know why they sent you. I told Mike I got a call this morning about a job. It'd be just like him to pick a time like this. Some practical joker, isn't it?
No, it won't work, French.
What?
Come on, you know who we are and why we're here. Let's go.
It's one of Mike's gags.
Yeah, well, 3 landladies say different.
Oh.
You want to get your coat?
It was only a few bucks.
It was enough.
How'd you tumble?
One of the landladies knew Allington was dead.
I never figured he was that famous.
She knew you, too.
Me?
That's right.
Couldn't have known I was living here. Who told you?
Come on, let's go.
Pilcher. That's why I wanted to get in touch with me. I should have figured it wasn't about a job. Pilcher, wasn't it?
Come on.
Some agent. Couldn't land a job if your life depended on it. 5 years. Over 5 years I was signed with him. Never had a decent booking. Nothing that lasted. A couple of days here and there. Nothing that lasted.
Well, don't you worry about it.
Huh?
This one will.
Wilbur Carl Flicker, also known as Wilbur French, was found guilty on 3 felony warrants charging forgery. He was sentenced to the state prison as prescribed by Section 470 of the California Penal Code for a period of 1 to 14 years.
Dragnet is a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned the burglary detail. During the last 2 weeks, there have been a series of burglaries in the Valley Division. You haven't got a lead. Your job, find one.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Wednesday, September 9th. It was hot in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of burglary division. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Bernard. My name's Friday. We're on our way out to a recently completed housing project in the valley. It was 10:13 a.m. when we got to the corner of Moore Park and Victory. Mayflower Homes.
This one right here, huh?
Yeah, 224.
I guess they haven't sold them all yet.
Mm-hmm.
$500 down, not too bad. Pretty nice houses.
You thinking of getting a new place?
Oh, I was thinking. Kids are shooting up. We could use a little more room.
Mm-hmm.
Just what Faye always wanted. House nobody else has lived in. Well, someday, maybe.
Yeah.
Yes, sir?
We're police officers. It's Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
Oh, how do you do?
Hi. Somebody reported a burglary at this address. Are you Sam Brighton?
Yes, sir, that's me.
Mm-hmm.
Would you show us where he broke in, please?
Oh, yes, sir. It's in the front bedroom. Just this right here. That's it, yeah. Just off the hall here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this window here, you can see where he jimmied it.
Yeah.
I was careful not to touch it. You know, fingerprints.
That's good. Can you give us a list of the things he took?
Well, no, sir, not for certain. We were just getting moved in, and we don't know for sure what's gone. A couple of silver trays and a pair of candlesticks, they're missing.
Any cash?
Oh, about $20, $25. When I changed to go out to dinner last night, I left it in my trousers. They were in the other bedroom on the back of a chair. Pretty dumb place to leave money.
Your family live here with you?
My wife.
I see.
We've only been married a couple of weeks. Things he stole, they were wedding presents.
That's too bad.
Sure is a heck of a way to start out. Being married, I mean. Never wanted a house in the first place. Well, it's their own fault.
What do you mean, sir?
Sally's parents insisted on giving it to us, the down payment part.
Uh-huh.
Sally will never be able to manage a big place like this. She's just a couple of years younger than I am. Just a kid. Apartment's what we ought to have. No point in arguing with in-laws, though. I found that out pronto.
Yeah. Any idea what time the burglary took place?
Yes, sir. Between 6 and 10 last night. Must have been then, between 6 and 10.
Mm-hmm.
We went over to Sally's folks for dinner. Our refrigerator hasn't been delivered yet.
I see.
The reason I'm so sure about the time is I wanted to find out how long it would take to drive there.
Mm-hmm.
I told Sally it wouldn't be more than 15 minutes. First time she's ever been away from home. She kind of likes to feel that her folks are handy.
I understand.
Hollywood Hills. That's where they live. Off of Mulholland. Took us 14 minutes. Left here 6 o'clock exactly. News was just coming on the radio. Got there 6:14. I'm not so sure when we got home, but it was right around 10 o'clock.
That's close enough.
Of course, I didn't know about the burglary then, when we got home. We just went straight to bed. Didn't come in here. We used the back bedroom.
Yeah.
It wasn't until this morning when I started looking in my pants for cash.
Mm-hmm. Is it possible he broke in while you were asleep?
Well, I might have slept through it, but not Sally. Least little thing wakes her up. She'd have heard him. Must have happened while we were out.
Have you noticed anybody suspicious hanging around the last couple of days?
No, sir. Of course, we're brand new in the neighborhood. Most of the houses aren't even sold yet. We wouldn't know who was suspicious and who wasn't.
Be all right if we talk to your wife?
Oh, she couldn't tell you anything I haven't.
She here now?
Over to Mother's. This kind of thing, well, it kind of threw her, you know. You know how it is, just a kid.
Yeah, we understand.
Wish it had been me that found out about the bird.
The bird?
Well, didn't I tell you? I meant to.
No.
Darndest thing. Parakeet. Somebody gave it to Sally when she was a girl. Taught it how to talk. Talk real good, too. Why should a burglar do a thing like that?
What'd he do, turn it loose?
No, sir, he killed it.
We talked to Mrs. Brighton at her parents' home. She was unable to add anything to what her husband had told us. 1:15 p.m. The crime lab reported that there were no useful fingerprints on the Brighton window. Pictures were taken of the jimmy marks. There was no other physical evidence. September 11th, 2 more burglaries took place in a new housing tract near Sepulveda Boulevard. The burglar had followed the same M.O. used on the Brighton house. One victim also told us that 3 pet canaries had been killed. The other victim had no pets. By the end of the following week, 4 more burglaries had occurred in new housing developments. In each case where the home contained pet birds, the bird was killed. Other pets were not disturbed. Circulars describing the stolen articles were sent to all pawn shops in the city. September 21st, 8:05 a.m., we checked in for work.
Oh, man.
What's the matter? You still asleep?
Yeah, I didn't get a wink last night. They was at me all night. No? It's my own fault, Joe. Never should have told her about all those new houses going up nowadays. It was a big mistake.
Well, I thought you told me you were considering a new house.
Yeah, I changed my mind. We got enough people staying with us as it is. Faye's relatives. Brother-in-law Armin, you know.
Oh, him, huh?
Yeah, he's down here. As long as he has to sleep on the living room couch, he'll take off after a day or two. Give him a real bed, and he'd stay with us for the rest of his life.
I get it. Burglary Friday. Yes, sir. When did it happen? I see. Just a minute, please. All right, go ahead. That's 214 South? Yes, sir. I've got it. Right. Well, we got another one.
Yeah?
Pet shop over near Lancashire Boulevard.
The shop?
Uh-huh.
That doesn't sound like our boy.
Might be if they sell birds. We left the office and drove out to the Biggs Pet Shop on a side street in North Hollywood. 9:07 a.m., we interviewed Jasper Biggs, the owner of the store. He told us that during the night, the back door had been forced open. $17 was missing from the cash register.
Money ain't important, you understand. Not that anybody likes being robbed.
Yes, sir, we understand.
Besides, it's happened before. That's why I keep this sign up here on the register that tells them how to open it.
I see.
A couple of years ago, a fella broke in and wrecked the machine trying to get it open. That cash register's worth a whole lot more than anything I keep in it.
Shut up over there, all of you!
Dang much racket in here, a person can't even think. Now, where was I? Oh, yeah, about the money. Now, like I said, it don't matter, the $17.
Yeah.
Birds is different. They do matter.
Sir?
Well, he killed all of them, every last one.
I see.
Parakeets, canaries, parrots.
Mm-hmm.
Parakeets and canaries, now, they don't matter. I can replace them. Insurance will take care of it anyway. Them parrots is another story. It's a different story entirely.
Yes, sir.
2 of them was on consignment, worth over $100 apiece. $100. Bet you never figured birds run that high, did you?
No, sir.
Well, they do. Parrots, anyway, some of them. And what's more, my insurance don't cover birds on consignment. How do you like that?
Huh?
Check with the fellow who sold me the policy right after I called the police. Says birds on consignment aren't covered. Loophole, that's what it is, loophole.
Yes, sir.
Probably somebody wanting to buy them parrots. Be just my luck. Biggs Pet Shop. Who? Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're still here. Just a minute. It's for you.
Thank you. This Friday. Yeah. Okay, give me that address. All right, I got it. As soon as we can. Right.
We got another one?
Tracked off Riverside Drive.
Same routine.
One thing's different.
Yeah.
Some lady saw him. We ended our interview with Mr. Biggs, and we drove out to the address of a Mrs. Nellie Diver, who had just reported a burglary. Mrs. Diver told us her house had been entered shortly after she left to do her marketing. She discovered she'd forgotten her grocery list, and she came back for it. When she returned, the burglar was in the dining room. He had entered through a side window. The M.O. appeared to be the same as in the other recent burglaries.
Never saw such a surprised look on a man's face in my life. He just stood there like he was frozen solid for a minute or more. And then he lit out through the back door like it had split.
Uh-huh. How long were you gone from the house, ma'am?
5-10 minutes. As soon as I remembered about my list, I started back. I don't know why I'm getting so forgetful. Old age must be catching up with me.
Well, it's a good thing you did forget, Miss Diver.
Hmm? Oh, you mean so he didn't get time to steal anything?
Yes, ma'am.
Nothing around here worth stealing. Wonder how he happened to pick me. It'd be different if I lived up in Bel Air or one of those estates.
Well, if it's who we think it is, he's satisfied with smaller homes.
You mean he's pulled this kind of stunt before?
Yes, ma'am.
You don't say.
Do you think you'd recognize the man if you saw him again?
I beg your pardon?
The man who broke in here. You said you got a good look at him.
Oh, real good. Stood there in the dining room for a full minute, maybe more.
Then you'd recognize him, would you?
I don't see why not. This isn't the first time we met up, you understand.
How's that?
Saw him once before.
Well, when was that?
Last week sometime. I'm not certain. Wednesday or Thursday, middle of the week, in through there.
You sure it was the same man?
Looked the same. Came right up to my door.
Well, what do you want?
I'm not certain of that either. I've been racking my brain trying to remember. So many fellows around here last week, 2 or 3 milkmen trying to sign me up. A couple of people wanting me to take newspapers, 3 or 4 asking about dry cleaning, somebody selling rugs. Spent half my time running to the door. So help me, I can't remember which one he was. Getting old, sure as fate.
You think he was just pretending to be a door-to-door salesman of some kind or other?
Seems to me they were all trying to sell something. It's what always happens when you settle in a new location.
Yes, ma'am. Well, if you'd mind coming downtown with us for a little while.
No, I wouldn't mind. What for?
We'd like to show you some photographs, see if you can pick the man out for us.
Right now?
If you could, yes.
Well, you just give me a minute to get my hat and change Henry's water.
Henry?
My canary out in the kitchen.
Oh.
Haven't you noticed the way he's been... Oh, that's funny.
Ma'am?
He's usually singing up a blues streak this time of day.
We went into the kitchen with Mrs. Diver, and we found the dead bird. She agreed to accompany us downtown. 11:05 a.m. We pulled the mug shots of burglars who matched the description that she'd given us, and we showed them to Mrs. Diver. She identified one of the photographs, Stanley A. Bushing. Bushing had done time in the state penitentiary as a cat burglar. From his 510s, we learned his acquaintances and the places he was known to frequent. 3:36 p.m. We located Bushing in a bar on North Main. Stan Bushing?
Yeah?
Police officers.
You don't say.
Want to talk to you, Bushing.
Be my guest.
Come on, let's go.
What's the matter with right here? Joint don't get noisy until later on. Why not right here?
Where were you last night?
What time?
All night. And this morning, 8 o'clock this morning.
Why do you want to know?
All right, come on, let's go.
Well, give me a chance to finish my beer, will you? Look, you boys want to know where I was last night? All right, I'll tell you. I just want to know why, that's all.
You been up the valley lately? Well, come on, how about it?
Oh, that's why you're after me. Oh, you think I've been pulling those house crawls?
What do you know about them?
Well, I read in the papers.
You know more than that.
I do?
There was another one this morning.
That's news to me.
Is that so?
Yeah, I haven't bought a paper yet today.
Lady saw you.
Huh?
Right after you broke in.
Me, huh?
She says it's you.
Well, she needs glasses.
Well, we don't think so.
Look, you'll never make it stick.
We're going to try, fella.
I'm clean. Not even on parole no more.
It won't be parole this time.
It won't be anything.
Oh, come on, Bushing. Quit stalling.
Look, don't get yourself in an uproar. Take it easy. You'll live longer. Suppose I got an alibi.
Well, we'll try it for size.
For all night and this morning.
Go on.
I was with friends.
We got a lady who says different.
I got a lot of friends.
Yeah,
huh?
we know you're friends. We'll settle for the lady.
10:30 last night till 9 o'clock this morning with them every minute.
Where?
You ain't gonna like it.
Where were you?
You're gonna look pretty foolish.
Come on, let's have it, Bushy.
Drunk tank, Lincoln Heights Jail.
We verified Bushing's alibi with the booking sergeant at Lincoln Heights, and we learned that he was in the clear as far as the previous night was concerned. 5:06 p.m. We interviewed Mrs. Diver again. She wavered in her identification of Bushing's photo, and she said she couldn't tell us anything more. Teletypes of the suspect's description were sent out. The next day, Tuesday, September 22nd, we had a meeting with the skipper, Captain Bernard.
Well, where do we stand?
Just about where we did when it started.
It's not good, is it?
No, it's not.
We thought we had him yesterday, Skipper, but it didn't pan out.
You got a description?
Well, if she's no better at describing him than she is at identification, it doesn't mean much.
We figure he pretends to be a salesman of some kind.
That how he cases the houses?
As far as we can tell, yeah.
You need a lot more than that.
Yep.
This guy's got to be stopped. It isn't just the burglaries. Seems half of the people in L.A. keep pet birds. I don't know. My kids have a couple of canaries themselves. You get attached to them like you do anything else.
Yeah, I know.
You boys seen the mail on this thing?
No, sir.
Letters from all over, not just in town here, all over. People are raising Cain. My own kids asking me when we're going to catch him. Can't wait any longer for a break. We've got to make one.
Well, you got any ideas?
I don't know. We've just been working housing projects, huh?
Except for that one pet store, yeah.
Well, let's forget the store and see if we can get a pattern out of the houses.
Well, they're all new places. Folks have just moved in. He cracks one or two in each development, then he moves on. So far, he stayed in the Valley Division out there.
The way they're building up out that way, he won't run out of targets.
No.
They opened any new projects the last week or so?
Yeah, a couple.
He tapped them yet?
No. We alerted the owners, told them to warn anybody who moves in. Probably won't do much good, though.
Might. If you two moved in.
Wednesday, September 23rd. We drove out to a new track just off Coldwater Canyon Boulevard. It was called White Manor Homes. We found the tract office near the main entrance, and we went inside.
Gentlemen, what can I do for you? Are you interested in owning a new home?
We're police officers, sir. This is Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
Police?
That's right, sir.
Well, I don't think I've had any parking tickets lately.
We're from burglary.
Oh, about the Birdman, I suppose.
How's that?
Yeah, that's what they call him in the papers, you know, the Birdman.
Yes, sir, it's about him.
He hasn't been around here.
Well, no, sir, not as far as we know.
Well, that's a relief. Not that it makes much difference.
You're in charge of this project, are you, sir?
Yes, sir. My name's Simple, Forrest Simple. I've got a card right here on the desk.
That's all right, Mr. Simple.
I own White Manor Home.
I see.
I guess I should say me and the bank. We own it together.
Yes.
It's all going to belong to the bank, though, the way things are going. Been open nearly a week now. I haven't sold a single house. Haven't even had a decent offer.
Oh, what's the trouble, sir?
Now, you know what's the trouble just as well as I do. Birdman, that's the trouble. Folks just aren't going to move into any new developments until he's caught. Sent me a circular last week, the police department. I'm supposed to warn anybody who buys from me. Put them on their guard.
Yes, sir.
Don't need any warning. They're scared off as it is. 3 months ago, I'd be half sold out by now. Seems to me you fellows are dogging it. Now, I'm not telling you your business, mind you, but it seems to me you should have picked him up before this.
Yes, sir. Maybe you can help us.
How's that?
Well, the sign out in front says that 2 of your houses are furnished. Is that right?
Oh, that's just for display. Wester's department store did it. Figures it's good advertising.
Yes, sir.
Of course, I don't sell them furnished, just for display.
We'd like to use one of them for a few days.
Use one?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm afraid I don't follow you.
Well, sir, you've got a sold sign that you can put up in the front yard, haven't you?
Well, I guess so.
Well, we'll see that nothing's disturbed. If anybody asks, you tell them that a new couple moved in.
Oh, I get you. Decoys, huh?
Yes, sir, something like that.
Well, I don't know. Department store might not go for the idea.
Well, we'll clear it with them.
Well, if it's all right with them.
Thank you.
How long do you suppose it'll take?
How's that?
To catch him.
Well, your guess is as good as ours, if it works at all.
It better work. Pressure's building up. You fellas don't know what it's like being under pressure. Owe the bank a lot of money on this project. Figured I'd have at least half a dozen houses sold by now. At least half a dozen.
Mm-hmm.
Interest to be paid is the principal, and the bank expects it on time. You can't blame them for that.
No, sir.
You don't know what it's like having the pressure turned on.
We get a little every once in a while.
Oh, well, that's different. Your boss rides you and tells you to get on the ball. You don't have to worry. He can't fire you. Cops are civil service. Pressure from your boss? Well, that's different.
Not coming from him.
Well, where's it coming from?
Guy who kills birds. We telephoned the Wesley department store and we talked to the manager. He gave us permission to use the house that they'd decorated. At a neighborhood pet store, we purchased a cage and 2 canaries. It was 11:30 a.m. when we got back to White Manor Homes. Mr. Simple was putting up a sold sign in front of one of the houses.
What you got there? Oh, canaries, huh?
Yes, sir.
Well, here's the key. In case you want to lock up. Door's open now.
Thank you.
Want me to spread the word?
What's that, sir?
That I've sold this place?
We'd appreciate that.
Okay, I'll see that it gets around.
Thank you.
Man, some layout, huh?
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, great. You know anything about taking care of birds?
Well, I don't think there's much to it. Just water and seed, huh?
Yeah. Hey, Joe. Get a load of that couch.
Yeah.
What is it, 8 feet long? What's an inch?
Just about.
If they ever sees this place, I'm dead.
What'd you tell her?
Oh, we were on a job. I certainly didn't go into detail.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder what it would cost. To fix a joint up like this, how much it would cost?
More than we make.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't be very comfortable anyway. Not like having your own stuff you're used to.
No.
Hey, boy, they're really cleaning up a storm, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're kind of cute, too. Hey, you know, Joe Fay might like a couple of birds. They're good company for her when the kids are in school.
Well, maybe you can have those.
I never thought of that.
If he doesn't get them first. No one came by the house that afternoon or that evening. At 6 p.m., Frank went home. I stayed through the night. Thursday, September 24th, 9:15 a.m. We had our first visitor. Frank waited in the bedroom while I talked to her. She was a young lady who said that she represented the local chamber of commerce. She told me her job was to welcome newcomers to the neighborhood. She gave me some maps and a book of coupons which could be exchanged for free introductory gifts at various stores in the vicinity. During the rest of the day, we had 4 more callers. 2 newspaper agents, a representative from a dry cleaning establishment, and a charity worker. As far as we could tell, they were all genuinely fond of birds. 4:45 p.m., a small old truck pulled up in front.
Look, coming up the walk.
Pretty close to Miss Diver's description, isn't it?
Yeah. Told me to get out of here?
Yeah, better if he only sees one of us, huh?
Right.
Okay.
Lady of the house here?
Out shopping.
Oh, well, I'll come back.
What's it about?
I'd rather talk to her.
Why?
I'd like to take over your yard. I'm a gardener, mister.
Oh. Well, I'm the one to see about that. Why not?
Ask a man for a gardening job. He says he'll do it himself, weekends and after work. Don't understand how much work it'll be. Wife knows better, knows her husband, too. She's the one hires me.
Well, maybe I'm different. It's a pretty big yard. Plan on spending my weekends on my back.
I don't blame you.
Come on inside for a minute.
Yeah, sure.
How much would you charge for a yard this size?
Want me to handle watering, too?
No, I guess we can take care of the water.
Well, I'll come once a week, then mow the lawn, look after your flowers, do weeding, planting.
Well, we're pretty well landscaped now.
Well, you'll want some of your own plants. Could use a couple more roses alongside there.
That's possible. What's the matter?
No, I'm just looking around. Swell place you got here.
How much for the yard work?
$25 a month.
Nice steep.
Big yard, said so yourself.
You'd only be here a couple hours a week, you know.
Oh, 25 is the best I can do. You think it over. I got to be sure now.
How about 20?
Sorry, mister.
Not worth any more than that. Got plenty of gardeners for 20, you know that.
Up to you. Ain't got any other jobs in this neck of the woods. I have to drive all the way out here.
How'd you happen to find us then? I say, how'd you happen to find us then?
Well, I heard about this project. I thought more would be sold by now. Guess you're the only people moved in, huh?
Right.
Yeah, I thought there'd be more.
Probably will be before long.
Well, if I pick up any other customers in the project, I might come down. 25 for now.
Ready, can't swing that.
Well, you think it over. I'll drop back there, so. Somebody here most of the time?
Most of the time, yeah.
I'll drop back.
Oh, shut up, will you?
What?
I wasn't talking to you. Those canaries are crazy.
What's wrong with them?
Well, they're a nuisance. They're always screeching to get on somebody's nerves.
I guess you don't like birds.
Well, I could do without these.
Well, why don't you get rid of them?
Oh, my wife would blow her sack.
Ah, yeah.
Pride and joy. You know, she talks to them all the time. Baby talk.
Yeah, just like my old lady.
Your wife keep birds too, does she? Oh.
Yeah, when I was a kid, cages all over the place. I had 15, 20 birds.
Well, I guess I'm lucky we only got these.
Yeah, you're lucky. I had a dog once.
Yeah?
Rusty, that was his name. There's a mutt. Only dog I ever had. Killed one of her canaries.
All right.
It wasn't his fault. Bird got loose. He didn't know no better. Just playing with it. Didn't mean to kill it.
Sure.
He got rid of Rusty. My mom did. Sent him away. I don't know what happened to him.
That's too bad.
Never had another dog after that. He wouldn't let me. Just words. Just lay awake at night listening to him sing. That's what she called it. Didn't sound like singing to me. Couldn't cover him over. That was cruel to cover him over. That night long, I had to listen to him. Like you said, gets on a fellow's nerves.
Yeah.
I sneaked downstairs, took them out of their cages. I did it real quiet. Killed them all. All Mom's birds. Well, I couldn't stay after that. Ran away from home. Wish I could have stayed. Wish I could have seen her face next morning. Made it up for Rusty.
Yeah.
I still keep hearing them, though. Got to keep killing them over and over. So many birds. Folks put them in a cage, lock them up. Feel sorry for them afterwards. Don't make sense. I don't feel sorry for something just because it's locked up.
You might.
The story you've just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On November 12th, the hearing was held in Department 98, Superior Court, State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. Philip James Borch was examined by 6 psychiatrists appointed by the court and found to be mentally incompetent. He was committed to the State Mental Hospital at Mendocino for an indefinite period of time.
Dragnet is a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned the Bunko Fugitive Detail. A pawnbroker tells you he suspects a swindle. He isn't sure. Your job? Check it out.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Wednesday, May 18th. It was cool in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of Bunko Fugitive Detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Dillian. My name's Friday. I was on my way into the office, and it was 7:55 a.m. when I got to room 38. Bunko Fugitive.
Never know. Hi, Joe.
Morning.
You remember Fred Alpin?
Oh, sure. How are you, Fred?
Hi. Holding my own, Sergeant.
Well, what's new?
I'm not sure. Maybe just wasting my time. Yours, too. Fred thinks he stumbled onto a con game, Joe.
All right.
No, look that way to me, anyhow.
Yeah. Well, what's the sting?
Well, I was just telling Smith here. Yeah. A fella came in last night, a little guy. He was kind of timid. Probably never been in a pawn shop before. At least he wasn't as steady. You know, I can spot them straight off.
Yeah.
Wanted to pawn a ring. Got a big green stone. Fancy setting. All gimmicked up, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Man's ring. Real fancy, though. Asked me what it was worth.
What'd you tell him?
Worth $20, maybe 25.
Is that what you told him?
You know I can't loan full value. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
I offered him $5. I would have gone up to 10 if he'd have pressed me. That's better than a lot of brokers would give.
Did you take the 5?
Are you kidding? He went all to pieces. Thought he was going to have a hemorrhage. Started calling me a crook. Said the ring was an emerald. Shouted, screamed all over the place. It's an emerald, he said. A $5,000 emerald. That hunk of glass.
Well, you sure you didn't make a mistake, Fred?
No, I ask you, Sergeant. Would anybody try to pawn a 5G emerald with me? I ask you. Glass, that's what it was. Green glass. A nice setting, though.
What do you think, Joe? Well, the old diamond switch, maybe. Could be. Sounds like the only difference is the color. You get his name, Fred?
Yeah, I asked him. He just shouted and carried on, though. He wasn't making any sense at all. Got his license, though.
Oh?
Yeah, he's parked right in front of the place. Got the number when he drove off. Thought you might want it.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote it out. Put it in my pocket. It should be right here. Now, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, here it is. A match folder on the inside. You make it out all right?
Yeah, I think so. We'll check it.
Uh-huh. Might be a good idea if you got right on it, huh?
What do you mean?
Well, just before he left my place, he stopped all that carrying on. I think it sunk in what I told him about the ring being no good.
Yeah.
Got real quiet, you know, kind of like he was making up his mind about something.
Yeah.
Asked me to sell him a gun.
Fred Alpin gave us a description of the man who had tried to pawn the ring. We called our branch of DMV and asked them to check the license number. They came up with the information that the automobile bearing that license was registered in the name of Garfield Hunt at 221 North Selma Avenue, Hollywood. 9:03 a.m. Frank and I drove out to talk to him.
Well, it sure is a clear day. Look at those hills, Joe.
Well, I read in the paper you could see for 40 miles.
Yeah, I bet.
Morning.
Who are you? What do you want?
Is Mr. Hunt here?
No. No, he's not here.
Well, he lives here, doesn't he?
Who are you?
Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. We're police officers.
Police?
That's right. This is my partner, Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
Where is he? What's happened to him?
Mind if we come inside? Be a little easier to talk.
Oh, yes, of course. Oh, I forgot. Sofa's still made up. Slept down here last night, so I'd be near the phone. Thought he might call. Thought somebody'd call.
Your husband didn't come home?
Never happened before. Not in 37 years.
Yes, ma'am.
Just let me fold up that blanket so you
Here,
can
I'll
sit
give
down.
you a hand,
Oh, thank you.
You got any idea where your husband might have gone, Miss Hunt?
No. No idea at all.
What time did he leave?
9:35. Looked at the clock as he went out the door. Couldn't believe it. Not like Gar to go out that late. He's usually in bed by 10.
Yes, ma'am.
He promised me he'd only be gone an hour. Promised me he'd be back by 10:30 for sure.
I see.
Never heard a word from him after that, not a word. What do you suppose happened to him?
We're sorry we don't know, Miss Hunt.
Well, you must have some notion.
Sorry, we don't.
You said you wanted to talk to him.
Just a few questions, routine.
What about?
Well, we'd rather talk to him. You notify the police that he's missing?
No, I didn't know what to do. Figured you'd get in touch with me when you found him. Guess I wasn't thinking very good. Never happened before.
Yes, ma'am. Are there any friends he might be staying with, relatives?
We don't know anybody else from Los Angeles.
I see.
Just moved out here last winter from Kansas. Children have grown up, settled. Gar sold the business. We moved out here. Kansas winters can be pretty cold.
Yes, ma'am. Is your husband retired?
Yeah, he should be. He worked hard all his life. He deserves a rest. Had a little trouble with his heart last year. No, not a real attack. But the doctor told him to take it easy.
Mm-hmm.
Not Gar, though. Wasn't out here 2 months before he got all restless and fidgety. Just couldn't take it sitting around the house. Started up again.
In business?
Yes, sir. We had a tailor shop back in Kansas. Gar found a new business district opening up in the San Fernando Valley off of Magnolia Boulevard. They were renting cheap, right at the beginning, wanted tenants.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't do much business at first, but things have been getting better. Gar's a good tailor. A lot more careful than most. Learned his trade young. The days when there were tailors.
Yes, ma'am. You try to reach him there at the shop?
I called last night 3 or 4 times. This morning, too. Nobody answered.
I see.
You think you can find me?
We'll do our best.
I guess maybe I should have notified you last night.
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't know what to do. Thought you'd get in touch with me if something happened.
Well, better to call us first.
No, I guess so.
Then it might not happen. Mrs. Hunt gave us a description of her husband. We advised her to make a formal report at the Valley Division. A local and an APB were sent out. 3:15 p.m. Patrol car unit 9L78 reported Hunt had been found sitting in his car. The car was parked on Mulholland Drive. Hunt had readily identified himself. We asked the officers to bring him in for questioning.
Hi, Joe, Frank.
Pete?
Hi, Pete. Here he is.
Thanks for spotting him for us.
Sure, anytime.
Want to sit down, Hunt? Good, sit down.
What do you want with me?
Just like to talk to you, that's all. This is Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
I've never been under arrest before, not once.
Well, now, you're not under arrest now, Mr. Hunt.
And what am I doing here? Why did those officers make me come with them?
Well, you didn't go home last night. Your wife's been worried about you.
Well, I was going home when they found me. Wasn't any place else to go. Sarah oughtn't to have called.
She didn't call, sir.
Well, how'd you find out?
You tried to buy a gun. Pawn shop over on Main Street.
Oh.
Well, what'd you want the gun for?
I wouldn't have hurt him. I just wanted my money back. I thought I could scare him. That's all. I don't know nothing about firearms. Thought maybe I could scare him.
Who'd you want to scare? Now, who were they?
Well, they said they was renting a store next to mine. Said they was jewelers that opened up a Valley branch for Lassingwells. You know, the big jewelry store downtown here.
Uh-huh.
Crooks. That's what they were. Out and out crooks. Went looking for them early this morning. Back door to their store was open, the one next to mine.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I couldn't find hide nor hair of them. The place was empty. Just a couple of fakes. Had the windows soaped over so nobody could see what they were up to. Pounding on some old boards, making me think that they was remodeling.
Uh-huh. How much money did they get from you?
Not them exactly. Fellow working with them. Must have been working with them. Only way it makes sense.
Well, now, suppose you tell us about it, will you?
He come into my shop day before yesterday. It was long about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Called himself Norman Christ. He said he was from Greeley.
Really?
That's a town in Colorado where my brother lives.
Mm-hmm.
Said he knew my brother Ed back there.
What do you want with you?
Well, he claimed that Ed asked him to look me up, see how I was doing. Probably didn't know Ed at all. They must have told him, them jeweler fellows.
Uh-huh.
I got to thinking back. Remembered I mentioned having a brother in Colorado one day when we was having lunch. Told him the town, too. Greeley.
What happened then? Did he sell you the ring?
Oh, you know about that, too.
Well, you tried to pawn it, didn't you?
No, sir, not really. I just wanted to find out how much it was worth so that I could tell Sarah, I was going to surprise her. Figured that I'd give him another day before I tried to sell it.
Well, how'd you happen to buy it?
Oh, I wasn't buying it outright. I was just loaning him on it.
Mm-hmm.
Told me he had a chance to option some property out near Encino. Real bargain. Said he had to close the deal by 5 p.m. that same day. He needed cash for a clincher. Had to get the money from Colorado. That's what he said. He was afraid he wouldn't be here in time. He couldn't go to the bank. Didn't have any credit in L.A. Needed $3,000. He said that if I'd loan him the $3,000, he'd give me back $4,000 first thing the next morning. Offered me his ring for security. He said it was worth $7,000 easy. Said it cost him more than that.
You hand the money over?
No, sir, not by a darn sight. Told him I didn't have $3,000. I told him straight out. Said all I had was $1,500 in my savings account. I guess I shouldn't have said that.
Straighten up, sir.
He told me he might be able to swing it for $1,500. He'd have to go out there and see him in person. Said he'd come back.
Did he leave then?
No, not right away. I stopped him. I told him there was no point in coming back. I'm no jewel, I said. How do I know that ring's worth $7,000? Told me to get it appraised while he was gone. Told me to take it to any jeweler I wanted to. Seemed like he sure trusted me. Even a valuable ring like that kind of sold me on him. I went next door to ask those fellas who said they was jewelers. Place was locked up, so I figured they was still out for lunch. I figured maybe they was in the drugstore down on the corner, see?
Did you find them up there?
Yes, sir.
What'd they say about the ring?
Perfect emerald. That's what they said. One of them put a gadget up his eye, looked through it. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir, I know.
Perfect emerald worth $10,000. Not the flaw in it. Acted like they thought it was mine. Offered to buy if I wanted to sell. I told them about the other fellow. That he needed $3,000. I told them the whole story. I did. They said they'd loan him $5,000 without batting an eye. Offered to make out a check right then and there. Kind of took my wind away. They were so anxious. I said maybe we could go in 50-50. They put up $1,500. I'd put up $1,500. That way, the guy would have $3,000 if he still needed that much. We could both make a little profit, you know. One of them asked me how I wanted the check. Should make it out to me. I told him, oh, make it out to cash.
You remember how he signed it?
Jones. Quincy Jones. That's the name I knew him by. Other one called himself Wyatt Truesdale. I don't think that's their real name. You? Probably one of those, what did you call them?
Aliases.
Yes, sir, yeah, that's it. Well, anyway, I went over to my bank and drew out the $1,500. About 2:30, the fellow came back, the one who gave me the ring.
Yeah.
Said he tried to talk the real estate people into being satisfied with $1,500. Wouldn't come down. Insisted on the whole $3,000. I told him not to worry, that I had it. Give him my $1,500 in the check. He said the check would be okay, seeing as how it was on a local bank. He promised that he'd pay me back the next morning.
That'd be yesterday.
Yes, sir. And when he didn't show up, I wanted to make sure just how much it was worth, the ring. In case something had happened to it. In case he didn't come back for it. That's why I went to the pawn shop. Offered me $5 for it. The man in the pawn shop. Couldn't believe him at first. Said it was just glass, hunk of glass. Then a great light broke on me. How I'd been tricked. All of a sudden it come to me.
Well, why'd you stay out all night? Why didn't you go home?
Well, you see, sir, I couldn't face Sarah. I knew I'd been swindled. $1,500. Every cent that we'd saved. Been married 37 years. It was Sarah's money, too. Not just because she's my wife. They helped earn it.
Well, we'll try and get it back for you, Mr. Hunt.
I've watched the show for 37 years, is it? That's what I kept thinking while I was sitting in my car up there in the hills. All day long, just kept thinking. 37 years. $1,500. I'll have to tell her, won't I?
Well, sir, I think that's up to you.
She'll know it anyway. She'll know something's wrong.
Yes, sir.
Too late to start all over. We won't have them. There's not a chance.
Have what, sir?
Another 37 years.
We continued to interview the victim, Garfield Hunt, and he gave us descriptions of the three suspects. The stats office came up with 24 possibles. We showed the mug books to Hunt. He identified two of the photographs, Ernest Wilcoxon and Paul Cleaver. Hunt was positive that Wilcoxon and Cleaver were the men who had rented the store next to his and had pretended to be jewelers. He was unable to find a photograph of Norman Christ, the man who had sold him the ring. We pulled the packages on Wilcoxon and Cleaver. They had both done time for burglary. They had not previously worked with a third person. We called the Lassingwell Jewelry Company. They informed us that they were not opening a branch out in the valley. We checked with the owners of the building in which Hunt had his tailor shop. They told us the adjacent store had been rented on a weekly basis, and that the renters had said they intended to use the space for temporary storage. A local and an APB were sent out on all three suspects. 5:13 p.m. Using the information from their mama sheets, Frank and I began checking various places where Cleaver and Wilcoxon had been known to hang out. 7:12 p.m. We went into the Black Parrot Bar on South Broadway, and we talked to the bartender.
Not by them names, I don't know.
Well, maybe these pictures will help.
How about it?
Yeah, they come in here once in a while.
Yeah, that's what we heard.
Always come in together?
As far as I know.
Ever bring somebody with them? Tall, thin fella, about 30, blonde hair?
No, just two of them. Never seen them with another guy.
I see.
What do you want them for?
You know how we can turn them up?
They ain't here now.
We can wait.
Won't be in tonight.
How do you know?
They got money.
Oh?
Big roll. The red-headed one was in yesterday. Quincy Jones. That's what he told me his name was.
Yeah.
Been running a tab. He paid it up in full. I had plenty left over.
Is that right?
As long as they're carrying a roll, they don't come to my place. Head for them expensive joints, like out on the strip, places like that. When they've blown their loot, they come back to me and start running up another tab. I called them on it, but what can you do? This is where I get some of their bundles.
Uh-huh. You know where they live?
Around here somewheres. I couldn't pin it down for you.
Who could?
How bad you want to find out?
What do you mean?
It'll cost you a drink.
You that thirsty?
Oh, not for me. Girl over there in the corner booth, the blonde.
Oh, yeah.
She knows him. Been out with him a couple of times. I've seen them leave together.
All right.
I was just kidding about that drink. It's on the house. For you guys and her, too.
No, we don't want anything.
And we'll pay for hers.
It's up to you.
Hi.
Good evening, miss.
You're new, aren't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Place could stand some new talent. Here, I'll move over.
Thanks. Thank you.
What's the matter with this side?
We're police officers.
How do you like that?
Ma'am?
Horoscope said I was going to meet somebody new today. In the morning paper?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't say it'd be cops.
Oh, your yard plate.
Where'd that come from?
These guys.
You shouldn't call them guys, Jake. Fella buys a lady a drink, that makes him a gentleman. From these gentlemen, that's what you should say.
Oh, sure.
To your very good health, gentlemen. Now then, what can I do for you? I'm at your service.
The bartender says these guys are friends of yours.
Oh, I wouldn't say those pictures do them justice, but there is a resemblance.
You know them, then?
We've met. We weren't formally introduced, but we've met. Meet a lot of people in here. Not the best people in town, maybe. It's not the best bar in town, but it's convenient. I work down the street.
Uh-huh. You know where these men live?
Huh? Oh, you mean these two so-called friends of mine?
Yeah.
Am I?
Well.
Did you ever hear of the North Cross Arms Hotel?
Yeah.
Well, I haven't been there with them, of course. I'm not sure that's their residence, but Quincy was carrying a hotel key, and one night it fell out of his pocket. I think that was the name on the tag, North Cross Arms.
All right. Thank you.
Well, thank you for the brandy.
Don't mention it. All right, what do we owe you?
6 bits. She drinks good stuff.
There you go. Keep the change.
Looks like I got one decent break.
That's so?
Them paying their tab today before you pick them up.
No, they didn't pay it.
Huh? Who did?
A man named Hunt. The clerk at the North Cross Arms Hotel told us that two men who resembled Wilcoxon and Cleaver were registered under the names of Jones and Truesdale. He said they'd gone out for the evening. He showed us up to their room, 36A. We asked him about the suspect known as Norman Christ. He told us he'd never seen anybody with Wilcoxon and Cleaver who answered Christ's description. 2:48 a.m. Wilcoxon and Cleaver returned to their room. We took them into custody and drove them down to the city hall for questioning.
How many times you want to hear
Until
it?
we get the truth.
Does Hunt say he gave us any money? He never gave us a cent, did he, Ernie?
No, we even paid his lunch tab a couple of times.
That's right. Always managed to out-fumble us. Owes us a couple of lunches.
He paid him back.
What?
$1,500 buys a lot of lunches.
What 15?
You got your share. You've been spending all over town.
Hunt say he gave it to us?
You still had over $600 when we picked you up. Now, where'd it come from?
Hollywood Park. Picked 3 long shots yesterday. You want the names of the horses?
Where's Chris?
Told you before, never heard of him. Who is he?
The guy you worked the game with.
Never heard of him.
You want to take this rap yourself?
What rap?
Why'd you rent that store out in the valley?
Store?
We showed him your mug shots, the man you rented it from. He made you. You want it in person? How about it?
Guess they got us there, Ernie.
Yeah.
We were going to open up a bookie joint.
Is that right?
Yeah, we changed our minds, looked the situation over, decided it might get a little warm out in the valley, and cleared out.
Bookie joint, huh?
That's right.
Not a jewelry store.
What are you talking about? Us? Jewelers? Ernie and me?
That's what you told Hunt.
Nothing of the kind. Laid it on the line. Told him we were bookies. Just between us, he was kind of pleased about it. Likes to play the horses himself. Liked the idea of being able to lay a bet so convenient.
You're a liar.
Now, look. Say, maybe that's what happened to his money. Maybe he lost it on a nag.
Come on, let's try it again. Now, why'd you rent the store?
You're going to get the same answers. Same questions, same answers. It's a waste of time.
We got plenty.
72 hours. That's all you got. You can hold us on suspicion for 72, then you can turn us loose unless you prove something.
We'll prove it.
How? We didn't take any money from Hunt. Nobody says we did, even him. If he was a mark for this, what's his name, Chris?
That's right.
How do you wrap us into the package? Hunt never saw us with him. Nobody saw us with him.
We'll find somebody.
72 hours, and you got to turn us loose. That's the law.
Is that right?
We know the law.
Why'd you break it? We continued to question the suspects, but we were unable to break them down. Thursday, May 19th, 7:45 a.m. Another team of detectives took over the interrogation. Frank and I went back to the office.
Think they'll cop out, Joe?
I don't know. It doesn't look like it, does it?
No, not unless we turn up Chris.
Did you call your wife?
Yeah, sure bawled me out. Kept dinner waiting till after 10. You're lucky.
Well, maybe.
Wonder if I'll get home tonight.
I got it. Bunko fugitive, Friday. Yeah, that's right. Sounds like him. How long ago? Uh-huh. Yeah.
Chris?
Fits the description. Smashed up a car on the Hollywood freeway. Georgia Street recognized him from our teletype.
You able to talk?
Died 10 minutes after they brought him in. At the morgue, the victim, Garfield Hunt, identified the body. He was positive it was Norman Christ, the man who had sold him the ring. Wilcoxon and Cleaver were also shown the body. They denied that they'd ever seen Christ before. The next day, Friday, May 20th, the evidence against Wilcoxon and Cleaver was taken to the district attorney's office. The complaint was refused. The evidence was deemed insufficient to bring the matter to trial at this time. Wilcoxon and Cleaver were released. 6:05 p.m. Frank and I got ready to sign out.
Well, that really tears it.
Sure does.
The DA's office knows they're guilty. We know it and can't do a thing.
Yep.
I guess we've been wasting our time, Joe, just fanning the ball.
Well, I'll tell you, we've spotted them, and they're going to stay spotted.
Yeah.
Next time they move in on a mark, we'll make it stick.
It wouldn't be very smart of them to try it twice.
They're not smart.
Huh?
They tried it once.
The story you have just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
2 months later, on July 12th, Wilcoxon and Cleaver were apprehended for a similar crime. They were charged with 1-count grand theft. On November 6th, trial was held in Department 98, Superior Court, State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. Ernest T. Wilcoxon and Paul Cleaver were found guilty of 1-count grand theft and were sentenced to a term prescribed by law. Grand theft is punishable by imprisonment in the county jail for a period of not less than 1 year, or for a period of from 1 to 10 years in the state penitentiary.
You have just heard Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action, and starring Jack Webb, a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned a robbery detail. You get a call that a well-dressed man has held up a diamond merchant. He's escaped into the crowded streets of your city. Your job? Get him.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Tuesday, February 8th. It was cold in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of robbery detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Chief Detective Thad Brown. My name's Frank. I was on my way back from communications, and it was 12:10 p.m. when I got to room 27A. Robbery.
You get the wire off today, Hearn?
Yeah, I should have an answer this afternoon.
Doesn't come in, we better call him.
Yeah. You want to get something to eat?
Yeah, it's about that time. Where do you want to go?
No, how about the stakeout?
Good. I could use a couple enchiladas.
Get your hat.
You want to tag the skipper before we leave?
No, he's not in. I saw him go out with Chief Brown. We can talk to him when we get back, huh?
Right.
Let's go. It's a hot one. I'll get it.
Sauce?
Yeah, diamond merchant just hit for a load of unset diamonds.
Big score?
He'll buy a group of enchiladas.
Huh?
$80,000 worth. Frank and I left the city hall and drove over to the address we'd gotten on the hotshot phone. It was a large office building on Hope Street. From the lobby register, we found that the victim, a Mr. George Mars, occupied suite 318. We checked with the uniformed officers who answered the call, and then we went upstairs to talk with Mars.
Well, I tell you, officer, there wasn't anything about him that'd make a person think he was a hold-up man.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
Do you want to tell us exactly what happened?
Well, sure. There's not much to talk about. I was sitting here looking at the papers, checking the sales.
What's that?
Dollar Day.
Oh,
I figured maybe I could get a good buy on some suits. I've been needing them. Figured maybe I could pick up a couple on sale. Not for $1, you know, but on sale.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Well, just sitting here reading the paper, and all of a sudden the door opens, and in comes this fellow.
Mm-hmm.
Nice looking. Sure no reason to think there was anything wrong.
Yeah.
Told me he wanted to see some diamonds on set.
Mm-hmm. You say why you wanted to see him?
Yeah, something about opening a store up in the valley someplace around Sacramento.
Oh, yeah.
I felt kind of good. You know, to think a man had come all the way down here to look at the stones I've got.
You say why he did that?
No, I didn't ask. Lots of times that happens. Been in business quite a while. Word gets around.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the man said he wanted to see some stones. I went back to the safe to get them.
Yeah.
Picked up several trays and brought them out here. When I took another look, he was sitting right there. There, holding a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Just as calm as can be, pointing the old gun right at me.
Did he say anything to you?
Told me to put the diamonds on the counter, not to make any noise. Said if I played it smart, I wouldn't get hurt.
Yeah.
I wish you could have seen this fellow. Just as calm as could be, he reached in his pocket, took out a pair of gloves, put them on, then he scooped all the diamonds into a little bag he was carrying and told me to get into the back room.
Yeah.
Made me lay down on the floor, and then he locked the door. Told me not to make any noise. Said to count to 100 by ones before I tried to yell.
Mm-hmm.
Well, after he locked the door, I heard him leave the office. I started counting.
All right, Mr. Mars, can you give us a description of the man?
Outside of the fact he had the gun, I can't tell you anything about him. I've been trying to pull a picture out of my head, but there just isn't anything.
Well, maybe we can help you.
Go ahead. I don't think it'll do any good.
All right, let's start with his age. How old was he?
I don't know. Medium, I guess.
30, 35? Older, younger?
I don't know.
How tall was he?
Oh, I guess you'd say he was... I don't know.
Well, when you looked at him, did he seem to be larger or smaller than yourself?
About the same.
Well, then he'd be about, 5'10", 11?
I guess so. I don't remember.
What about his face? Can you tell us anything about that?
Nope.
He have a mustache?
Might have.
But you aren't sure?
No.
Wear glasses?
I don't remember.
Well, now, think real carefully. Is there anything at all that you can remember about him?
Yeah, but it's kind of silly.
Well, what is it?
When I came back with the diamonds and he was holding the gun, I noticed his hands.
Yes?
His fingernails were manicured.
Yeah?
Yeah, real clean and with some kind of polish on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so.
Like that?
Mm-hmm.
I'll check with the fellows outside, Joe. Maybe they came up with something.
Okay.
Mr. Smith?
Yes, sir?
I'm sure sorry about this, not being able to help more.
Well, don't worry about it, Mr. Mars.
I'm sure sorry.
I'll be right back, Joe.
All right.
You have a cigarette, Mr. Friday?
Yeah. Here you go.
Thanks.
Here's a light.
I got it. This kind of thing happen to you often?
How do you mean?
Oh, where somebody's robbed and can't remember what the hold-up man looked like?
Once in a while.
Well, what do you do about it?
Try to find another way.
You usually find one?
Most of the time.
John?
Yeah.
See you, man?
Yeah. What do you got?
Well, I checked with the men in the radio unit.
Yeah.
They got a guy downstairs. We better talk to him.
Suspect?
No, eyewitness.
Frank and I went down to the lobby of the building, and we met with the uniformed officers who'd answered the call. They introduced us to Stanley Markin. Markin said he'd seen the hold-up man.
And I did. Saw him plain as anything.
When was that, sir?
Yeah? Wasn't right after he held up old Mars.
Where'd you see him?
Hall, right outside the office, right in front of the door, practically.
Mm-hmm.
On the way to my place, and this man come out of Mars. Roaring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he opened the door, and bam, right into me, like to knock me down. Really roaring.
Mm-hmm.
Had this little black leash, you know, about this big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right here. Had a death grip on it.
Well, did you get a good look at the man?
Closer than I am to you, one right into me. Thought sure I was going to end up on the floor. Yeah.
Can you give us a description?
Sure. What do you want to know?
What do you look like?
Nothing special, just a run-of-the-mill crook. Seen one, seen them all.
Okay. How old was he?
Oh, guess about 28, maybe 30, around in there.
How tall?
Like you.
Maybe about 6 feet.
Well, that's what you are?
Yes, sir, pretty close.
Yeah.
How was he built?
Medium. Didn't seem to have a lot of beef, just average.
Uh-huh. How was he dressed?
Had a gray suit on, dark gray, little red pattern going through it.
Single or double-breasted?
Single.
Uh-huh. What color shirt?
White, blue tie. One of them new ones, you know, little thin kinds, you know, little bitty knot. Had one of them bar things through the collar, holes in, you know.
Uh-huh.
Square ends.
What's that?
On the bar. Square ends, not round like most of them. Square,
I see. Was he wearing a hat?
Yeah. Blue Humber, dark. Had it kind down over one eye. Looked real rakish, like a spy.
Mm-hmm. Was he clean-shaven?
Yeah. How do you mean?
Did he have a mustache?
No, didn't.
Was he wearing glasses?
Not that I saw. Might have had them, but he wasn't wearing them.
Did he say anything to you?
Not a peep. He just wham, and then he took off. Made me real mad. Guy almost knocks you down, then doesn't even say he's sorry.
Uh-huh.
He took off, and when I thought about it, I went after him.
Did you see if he was carrying a gun?
I just told you I went after him.
Yes, sir.
I'm not a coward, but I ain't no fool either. I'd have seen a gun, I wouldn't have gone near him.
Yes, sir.
Guy didn't even wait for the elevators. Just run off the stairs. Fire exit, you know.
Yeah.
Down 3 stories. All the way by stairs. Tell you, it almost got me, but I was so sore about being run into, and then no apology, just nothing. I went after him.
Yes.
We got to the lobby, and he went out on the street. Thought I had him sure there. Place was all crowded. The dollar day, you know.
Yeah, we know.
Didn't think he'd be able to run far with all them people.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't.
What's that?
He didn't run very far. Only to the curb, and he jumped in a taxi.
Yeah.
Cab took off. I tried to get there before it left, but didn't make it. Too many crowds.
Mm-hmm.
I got the number of the cab he took, got it written down in my office.
Can we go up and get it?
Sure. Scientifics come out yet?
What's that?
Scientifics, you know. Fingerprints and all. They come yet?
No, not yet.
Well, they get here, and it'll be toodaloo to him. Them guys in their machine, just a matter of dropping a few cards in some gadget, and ping, there's the name.
Yes, sir. Well, it'll be a little more than that.
Yeah, that's what you think. Soon as the scientifics get here, have them come and see me first thing.
You bet.
Give them something to really work on.
What do you mean?
Yeah, good start on who the fella is.
What's that?
When he bumped into me upstairs, he dropped his hat, flew right off his head. Guy didn't stop to pick it up. I got it. It's a good one.
Uh-huh.
Got his name in it.
12:32 p.m. The crew from the crime lab arrived and started their investigation of the office where the robbery had taken place. Frank and I got the description of the thief out, and then we started to check on the cab number. The suspect's hat was turned over to the crime lab. When Frank and I looked at it, we found the initials TR on the inner band and the name of a men's store in Las Vegas, Nevada. Lieutenant Lee Jones said they'd run a check on it for us. The stats office started a run on the M.O. and the description. Both the victim and Stanley Markin were taken to the city hall to look through the mug books for a possible identification. At 1:26 p.m., we obtained the name of the cab driver who picked up the suspect. The company told us that his regular stand was at the corner of 6th and Broadway. When we got there, the driver was out on a call. We waited until 2:14 p.m. when he returned.
Yeah, I remember him. Picked him up in front of the Jerks building.
That's right. Now, can you tell us where you took him?
Not right off. It should be on the way, Bill, though.
Would you check for it?
Sure, just a minute. I'll get it.
Be a nice break if he's got it.
Yeah? Yeah, here it is. I picked him up at 12:06 and dropped him at the Toddle Inn bar over on Fig.
Did he go in the place?
Yeah, I was making out the log. I saw him.
Did he say anything to you on the way over?
No, nothing special. Seemed kind of nervous, kept looking back. I figured there was something wrong, but you get so many crackpots in this business, you can't take time to worry about all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So what'd he do?
Feel a little better if we talk to him about that.
Yeah, sure. Oh, one thing he said might help you out.
What's that?
Well, he wanted to know where he could get an airline schedule.
Yeah.
Said he was anxious to get out of town.
The cab driver verified the description of the suspect. We put in a call to the airport detail and gave them the suspect's description. The bus depots and railroad terminals were also alerted. 2:47 p.m. We drove over to the Toddle Inn bar.
Hi. What'll it be?
Police officers. Want to ask you a couple questions?
Nothing wrong, is there?
I'd like you to tell us.
Well, look around. You won't find nothing out of line. It's a clean place.
Mm-hmm. Who's been in here this morning?
Huh? How many people have been here? Well, just a couple. It's kind of slow. Why?
We're looking for a man about 28 or 30, 6 feet tall, medium build, wearing a dark gray suit. The way we got it, he was in here about 12:15, 12:30.
Today?
That's right.
What's he done?
Was he here?
I don't want any trouble.
You're saying it the wrong way. Now, was the man in here?
Yeah?
Who is he?
I don't know. You want us to buy that? It's the way it is. If you don't like the color, shove off.
No, you don't mean that, do you?
Look, cop, the door was open when you came in, no lock. Same way when he was here. Came in, had a drink, that's it. You try to build any more, you're going to find out you lost the paddle.
Get your coat.
Huh?
You heard me. Move.
What are you going to do, take me downtown?
That's it.
Gotta get somebody to watch your place.
We'll wait.
Look, it doesn't seem very fair.
How do you mean that?
I didn't have part of the action.
Well, why don't you tell us?
The guy came in, he ordered bourbon and milk. He sat there and drank it. Had a couple more and left. Doesn't mean anything to me.
And why are you standing in front of him?
I don't know. The place is clean. I like to keep it that way.
Who is he?
Look, I tell you true, I can't pull up a name.
Well, now, suppose you try.
Tom something.
Is he in here often?
A couple times a week.
What's the attraction?
Look, why don't you tell me what it's all about? Maybe we can make a deal.
We don't need you on our side.
Why does he come in?
To see Alex.
Who's she?
Waitress.
What's her last name?
Colbar.
She go with this fella?
I don't know if it's serious. They've been out a couple of times, dinner and a show.
Where do we find her?
I guess she's home. She don't come to work till 4:30.
You got her address?
It's in the book.
Get it.
No other way?
Get it.
Okay.
Does Tom make a phone call while he was here?
No.
What do you have to say to you?
He told me just wound up a deal. He did pretty good on it. Said he was going home.
You live in town?
Not regular. He's from, I don't know, Nevada, I think.
Did he say where?
Well, he mentioned some small town, a Boulder City, I think. It's not a street or anything there.
You want to get the girl's address?
Yeah. I hope you understand about before.
What do you mean?
Why I wouldn't go with you from the front.
Tell us.
Well, it's Alice.
Yeah.
She'd be in real trouble if it got out she was seeing Tom.
Why?
I don't think her husband would go for it.
We called the name and description of the waitress into R&I, but we found there was no record on her. Frank and I left the bar and went over to her home. It was a run-down apartment building on Court Street. We checked with the manager, and she told us that the girl's husband left about 9:30 that morning. She went on to say that Alice Colbar seldom left the place before 3:30, and that as far as she knew, she was still at home. Frank and I went up to talk to her.
Probably asleep, huh?
Mm-hmm. Miss Colbar.
The door open?
Yeah. You got your flashlight?
Yeah, here.
Miss Colbar? Throw the light over there, Frank, in the corner near the bed.
I'll call an ambulance.
Yeah. Tell them to step on her.
How's she look?
Like she's dead. From the appearance of the room, there'd been a fight. Furniture was overturned, lamps were broken, several bottles had apparently been smashed against the walls. The body of Alice Colbar was lying on the floor near the bed. Her face was buried in the pillows as if she'd used it to ward off additional blows from her attacker. An ambulance crew arrived, and she was removed to Georgia Street Receiving Hospital for treatment. A thorough search of the room failed to turn up anything to lead to the identity of the person who'd beaten her. We talked to the landlady again, and we found that Irvin Colbar, the victim's husband, was employed at a golf driving range out in the valley. We checked the name and description through the record section, and we found that he had one arrest for drunk driving. He'd been fined and placed on probation. 4:26 p.m. Frank and I drove out to talk to him.
I knew you'd be here.
Is that right?
How's that?
Pretty rough.
I don't know. Just all of a sudden it was a beef, and I hit her.
With what?
My hands.
What started the argument?
Tom.
Who's he?
Friend of Alice's.
You know his last name?
No, I never even met him.
All right, tell us about it, will you?
What you don't know already, everybody else does.
Go ahead.
Been going together for a couple of months.
Alice works at a bar. Tom came in all the time. I guess it got pretty serious.
Yeah.
I went by the place last night, going to pick her up after work. She was gone. The bartender there told me she left with his fellow Tom. I got pretty sore. You can figure what it's like finding your wife running around with another man.
Yeah.
I had a couple of drinks. Trying to think what to do. Right then, I wanted to kill both of them. A couple of guys in the bar tried to calm me down. I guess I got pretty loaded. One of them took me to his place. I spent the night there.
Mm-hmm.
Woke up this morning, went home. Now, you got to believe me, I wasn't real sore anymore. Mad, yeah, but not so I was going to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Alice was asleep when I got there. I woke her up, told her I knew all about her and Tom.
Yeah.
Kind of thought she'd be sorry, say she was wrong, something like that.
Uh-huh.
She wasn't. Told me how her and Tom were in love and that she wanted a divorce so they could get married. Tried to talk to her, tell her how I loved her. Didn't do any good. She said we were all through, for me to pack my things and get out. I guess that's when I hit her. I don't know. All of a sudden, I wanted to smash her. That's all there is.
You ever met this Tom?
No.
How about the other guys in the bar? They know him?
To talk to. I think that's about it.
Any idea where he lived?
No. Tried to find out last night. None of the people around the place know. If I found out, I'd kill him.
All right, you better get your coat.
Yeah. What are they going to do to me?
That's not up to us.
I didn't kill her, though, huh?
She's still in the critical condition.
Guess it doesn't make a difference anyway. We only been married a couple of years. Won't be much without her. Never figured it'd end up like this.
Mm-hmm.
I really loved her. Done anything in the world to make her happy. How do you answer it?
What's that?
Why she did it.
I wouldn't know.
I asked her. She wouldn't tell me. Just said it was over. She wouldn't give me one reason.
All right, come on, let's go.
Can I see her?
We'll check on it.
I want to ask her, find out why. Maybe she'll tell me now.
Yeah, she can hear you. Irvin Colbar was taken to the main jail and booked in on charges of suspicion of violation of Section 245 PC, assault with a deadly weapon. We put in a call to Georgia Street Receiving Hospital, and we found that the Colbar woman had been removed to the county hospital. She was still unconscious. We made arrangements to be called in the event she was able to be questioned. 6:45 p.m. We talked to Lieutenant Lee Jones. He told us that the lab had been unable to come up with any useful information at the scene of the crime. He said that they'd identified the manufacturer of the hat that the suspect had worn, and they gave us their local address. He went on to say, however, that hairs found on the lining of the hat would act as corroborative evidence if the suspect were apprehended. We put in a call to the hat company, but we found that their offices were closed. We contacted the Las Vegas Police Department and asked them to check on the store who'd sold the garment. We gave them a complete description of the suspect and the initials TR with the possible first name of Tom. They said they'd call back the next morning with whatever information they could obtain. Wednesday, February 9th. We got word from County Hospital that Mrs. Alice Colbar had died in her sleep without regaining consciousness. The case was turned over to homicide officers for completion. Additional teams of men were sent out to the bar where she was employed in an effort to find some trace of the missing suspect. 11:15 a.m.
Robert Smith. Yeah. Yeah, I'm the one to talk to you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what'd they say? Yeah. How many? Uh-huh. It looks pretty good, huh? What about a record? Yeah. Okay. 1864? 54? Right. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. We'll let you know. Thanks for the help. Bye. Las Vegas.
What do you got?
Well, I checked with the clothing store where the hat was bought.
Mm-hmm.
It's a new model, only been out a couple of months.
Remember the guy who bought it?
Yeah. Description didn't mean anything, but the initials did. Clerk said the hat was bought by Thomas Rourke.
Vegas got anything on him?
Yeah, a couple of arrests for robbery.
Do any big time?
No, the cases wouldn't hold.
They know where he is?
They got an idea.
Yeah.
He's supposed to live out in Covina.
Frank and I checked the name Thomas Rourke through R&I, and we found one assault arrest on a man answering his description. The mug shots were pulled and shown to the robbery victim and the witness. Both of them gave us positive identifications. We contacted the Covina Police Department and told them what had happened. They assured us a complete cooperation. Along with Officers J.J. O'Donnell and Sergeant Jim Austin, Frank and I left the office to take the suspect into custody. We met with officers from the Covina PD, and we drove to 1854 Eldred Avenue. It was a small redwood house set well back on the lot. In the driveway was a late-model Plymouth coupe. From the street, there was no sign of life. The shades were drawn, and the front porch was covered with advertising newspapers. While O'Donnell and Austin covered the rear of the house, Frank and I went up to the front door. You all set? Yeah.
No one here.
All right, take that side.
Right. Nothing out back. How you doing?
Wait a minute. Closet.
I give up, don't you?
Go on out there.
Yes, sir. I'll do like you say. No trouble, sir, please. No trouble.
Keep those hands where I can see them.
Yes, sir. Just like you said.
Now, turn around. Hands on the wall. Quick.
Yes, sir.
Come on, move.
You won't find anything. Haven't done anything wrong. You got the wrong man.
Yeah, sure.
I'm telling you the truth, sir. I wouldn't lie.
All right, come on. Let's go.
Yes, sir. I get a coat.
Point it out.
In the closet. Great.
I'll get it.
What's this all about, sir?
You don't need a picture.
I'm afraid I do. I don't know why you're doing this.
That's your car in the driveway?
Yes, sir.
You live here alone?
No, sir. This is my sister's house.
Where's she?
Working, sir.
Here, stick it on. Let's go.
Can I get a hat?
Don't bother.
Huh?
We got one that'll fit you. The suspect was taken to the city hall and questioned. For an hour, he maintained that he didn't know anything about the diamond robbery. While Frank and I were talking to him, the other officers were making a thorough search of his sister's house and her grounds. 3:15 p.m., we got word that the diamonds had been found in the backyard of the place. When he was confronted with this information, the suspect made a full confession. 6:08 p.m., he just finished giving us a statement. All right. This is a true statement, is it?
Yes, sir.
You make it without promises of reward or immunity. There's been no force exerted on you. You give this statement of your own free will, right?
Yeah.
All right. Here. Here's a pen. Sign all copies.
Too bad about Alice.
Yeah.
Nice kid. Got too serious, though.
Is that so?
Yep. Yeah, I talked all the time about how she was going to leave her husband, how we were going to get married.
Sign all copies, fellow.
Yeah.
You missed one here. Get this one here.
She knew I was going back to Nevada. Wanted me to take her.
Mm-hmm.
Silly.
Yeah.
Nothing between us. No flirtation. You know, something to kill time. She didn't mean anything to me. Nothing at all.
Want to give me that pen?
Yeah. I wouldn't have married her on a bet. I'll tell you that for true.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't mean a thing to me. You ought to believe it.
Look, fella, you don't have to convince us.
Huh?
We'll let you talk to her husband.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you have just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On June 9th, trial was held in Department 98, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. Thomas Emery Rourke was tried and convicted of robbery in the first degree and received sentence as prescribed by law. Robbery in the first degree is punishable by imprisonment in the state penitentiary for a period of not less than 5 years. Irvin Franklin Colbar was tried and convicted of murder in the second degree and was sentenced to the state penitentiary for a period of from 5 years to life.
You have just heard Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action, and starring Jack Webb, a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.
Dragnet. Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned the homicide detail. You've just completed an investigation on an East Los Angeles murder case. You get a hotshot call. A shooting at a liquor store on Pico Boulevard. Your job? Check it out.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Wednesday, February 16th. It was cool in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of Homicide Division. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Warman. My name's Friday. We were on our way back from the interrogation room, and it was 8:46 p.m. when we got to room 42. Homicide.
You think he'll cop out?
I don't know. Probably won't make much difference anyway.
Yeah. Mel keeping the gun, that was his big mistake.
Yeah.
Wonder why she gave him the chance.
What do you mean?
Well, he'd beaten her a couple of times before, and neighbors all said so.
Yeah.
You'd think she'd have walked out on him.
I think that's what she was trying to do.
Well, she should have tried sooner. You got any plans for dinner?
No, not especially. Why?
Well, I guess I'll grab a bite with you. Faye said she's not going to want any dinner. She'll fix something for the kids and told me to eat downtown.
Well, that's a switch, isn't it?
Sure is. Tell you the truth, Joe, she's kind of sore at me. This is her way of getting even.
Is that so?
Yeah. Woman expects a man to remember everything. Let him slip up just once, it's the end of the world.
Is that right?
Birthdays, anniversaries, Mother's Day, Christmas, Lincoln's birth, everything.
What'd you forget this time?
Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I knew there was something eating her when I got home that night. She didn't say a word until the next morning. Then she hands me a tie. Stripes like that brown and red one from last Christmas, only this one is maroon and gray.
Yeah.
Said she didn't want to give it to me on Valentine's Day because she knew how embarrassed I'd be. You know, on account of not having a present for her.
Well, why don't you get her some flowers or some candy you can make up for it?
She told me not to, Joe. Said she didn't want anything unless I thought of it myself and on the right day. See, you don't understand women, Joe. You can't make up for a mistake. They won't let you.
Hot shot, I got it.
For us?
Liquor store out in Pico.
Yeah?
Dead body. We drove out to the Evandale liquor store on West Pico Boulevard. The owner, Cecil Evandale, was lying on the floor behind the counter. He'd been shot to the chest, and he was already dead when the body was discovered. A team from robbery detail and Sergeant J. Allen and a crew from the crime lab arrived a few minutes after we did. They began their investigation, and we talked to the patrol car officers who found Evandale's body.
We were just cruising by, and we saw the front door standing wide open. No sign of Evandale, so we thought maybe we ought to look around.
Yeah.
Came inside, gave the place a once-over, spotted him just like he is now.
You're sure he's the man who owned the store, huh?
Oh, yeah, it's Evandale, all right.
He's had trouble before.
How's that?
A couple of boys held him up, must be about a month ago now. We answered the call.
I see.
Yeah, picked up the same night. Evandale had their license number.
You got a conviction?
First-degree robbery.
Well, it can't be them if they're in the joint.
I'll check on it, John.
Right.
There was another hold-up. They didn't get away with much.
Oh?
Cash register was open when we came in. Still full. $50, $75. That's my guess.
Well, maybe something scared them off.
The street was empty. No cars, nobody.
Funny they left all that money just lying there in the drawer.
That's not the only funny thing around here.
Who you got, Jay?
Found the casing. Take a look.
Mm-hmm. It's 38, huh?
Yeah. Slug went right through him. In his chest, out the back. Right through. Clean as a whistle.
Mm-hmm.
Should have got me, Buffalo.
What do you mean?
The slug.
Yeah?
Can't find a trace of it.
Frank came back from the telephone with the information that the two men who had previously robbed the Evandale liquor store were now serving their sentences in San Quentin. While Sergeant J. Allen and the crew from the crime lab continued to search for the missing slug and any other physical evidence, we canvassed the area for somebody who might have heard the shooting. 9:53 p.m. We found a drugstore in the next block that was still open for business.
Fountain's closed. That's what you're after.
No, sir, we'd like to talk to you for a minute.
Talk? What about?
We're police officers. It's Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
Police, huh?
That's right.
Thought I heard sirens a while back. What's been going on around here?
Well, there was some trouble at the liquor store down the street.
Cease Evandale's place?
Yeah.
You shouldn't have let it happen.
Beg pardon?
You're police officers, ain't you?
Yes, sir, we are.
He was robbed just a few weeks ago. You should have figured somebody'd try it again. You should have been watching him, making sure he was all right.
Well, it's a pretty big town, sir. There's a lot to watch.
Too big, if you ask me. Why don't they go home?
What's that?
All them folks who keep moving to L.A. 25 years ago, I come here. Things were a lot different then. Man could drive down the streets, find a place to park his car. There was room to move around in. Elbow room.
Mm-hmm.
More people coming all the time. Getting so crowded a man can't breathe.
Yes, sir.
You see anybody who might have done the shooting?
Tonight, you mean?
Yes, sir. Anybody suspicious?
Nobody suspicious come in here. Not since I got back from supper, leastways.
When was that?
7:30. Right around in there.
Uh-huh.
Don't think I've had more than a half a dozen customers since supper time. Miss Jacobs, her youngsters got the croup, sold her some cough syrup. Ought to relieve it some. Then there was a couple of boys. Bought Cokes, read the magazine.
Well, how old were they?
10, 12, just shavers.
Uh-huh.
Fella come in for a carton of cigarettes. Don't know his name, but he lives around here somewheres. Been in a half dozen times before. Don't recall anybody else.
Well, how about out on the street?
Hmm?
Did anybody walk by or hang around who doesn't belong in the neighborhood?
How the heck would I know? You can't even see the street from in here when it gets dark.
Yes, sir.
Black as pitch out there. Been after 'em for the last 5 years to put up a street lamp. Been begging 'em. What do they do? Just raise my taxes and spend the money on freeways and gadgets so's more strangers will come flooding in on us. Whole darn shooting could have took place right there on my sidewalk. I wouldn't have been able to see it.
Yes, sir. Well, thanks anyway.
I say, wait a minute. Come to think of it, I did spot a couple of fellas. Acted kind of funny, too, like they didn't want me to see 'em. You know what I mean?
I think so.
It was then when I was walking home to supper. No, it was when I was on my way back.
That'd be about 7:30?
Give or take a couple of minutes. Well, they were just standing there in the doorway, kind of. Turned their backs toward me as I walked past them.
Could you describe them for us?
I said they turned their backs.
Yes, sir.
Not that it made no never mind. It's so darn dark out there, I couldn't describe them if they'd been coming at me head on.
Uh-huh. You got any idea how tall they were?
Medium height, I guess.
How were they dressed?
Didn't notice, except for one of them.
Yes, sir.
Jacket he was wearing. Noticed that. Remember thinking it was so loud you could see it in the dark. Kind of plaid. You know, big crisscrosses?
Mm-hmm. What color was it?
Must have been light. Some kind of light color. Tan, maybe with green in it. Not sure.
Now, is there anything else you can tell us about these two men?
I think I've done pretty good to give you that much.
Yes, sir, you have. Thank you.
I'm not saying they had anything to do with shooting Cease Evansdale. You understand?
Yeah, we understand.
It's up to you to find out who did it and bring him to justice.
Yes, sir.
Don't know what's getting into this town. Man ain't safe in his own store. More crime all the time. More criminals. Wasn't like this 25 years ago.
Maybe not.
Why should there be more now?
Well, you gave us the reason.
Huh?
More people. $11:36 p.m. We went back to the liquor store. The body had been moved to the county morgue. Jay Allen told us that he and his crew had searched the walls, the floor, and the furniture. There was no physical evidence and still no trace of the slug that had killed Cecil Evandale. The next morning, February 17th, we again returned to the neighborhood and questioned shopkeepers in the vicinity. None of them had any leads. 12:05 p.m., we went back to the office.
I guess you were right, Joe.
What about?
Faye, when I got home last night, she was expecting candy or flowers or something.
I thought she told you not to buy her anything.
Yeah, but that didn't keep her from being disappointed when she didn't get anything.
Oh, what'd she say?
She didn't say. She just looked.
I got it. Homicide, Friday. Yes, that's right. No, we're on that. When? I see. My tie-in, yeah. You give me the address? Okay, right. Thank you. Office just got a report from a clinic out on Wilshire. A man came in to see him this morning.
Yeah?
Had a .38 slug in his chest. We drove out to a small medical center a few blocks west of Vermont Avenue, and we went into the offices of Dr. J.Y. Springer.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Afternoon. Dr. Springer in?
Do you have an appointment?
The police officers.
Oh.
The doctor busy?
Well, he does have a patient with him right now.
I see. We'll wait.
I'll tell him you're here. I'm sure it won't be long.
Thank you. Might as well sit down.
Yeah. You think we're on the right track, Joe?
I don't know. That slug isn't in the liquor store, that's for sure. Jay says there isn't a mark on the walls.
Yeah. Sure had to hit something.
Or somebody.
Yeah. You want a magazine?
No, thanks.
That's funny.
What?
It's a brand new issue. See right here? February.
Mm-hmm.
New magazine in the doctor's office.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
What's the matter?
It's a medical journal.
The doctor will see you now.
Thank you.
In here.
Thank you.
Dr. Springer?
That's right.
Police officers. This is Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
How do you do?
How do you do, sir?
What can I do for you, gentlemen?
I understand you took a bullet out of a man's chest this morning.
Oh, that.
Mind telling us about it?
No, not a bit. Young man came into the office. Must have been around 10 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
He told me that he and a friend had been looking at some guns last night. One of them went off accidentally. I examined the wound. It was quite superficial. Bullet had barely penetrated the skin.
Mm-hmm.
I removed it, put on a bandage. That's all there was to it.
I see.
Very superficial. Didn't even need instruments. He could have squeezed it out himself if he'd tried.
Was he a regular patient of yours, Doctor?
No, I'd never seen him before. He said he was just passing through L.A.
Could you describe him for us?
Well, he was in his late teens or early 20s. Dark hair, stocky, weighed about 170, I judge.
How tall?
5'7", 5'8".
Mm-hmm. Any distinguishing marks or scars that you recall?
No, nothing like that.
How was he dressed?
Slacks, sport shirt, loud jacket.
Loud?
Yes, a plaid of some sort, green and brown. The shirt was open at the collar, no tie.
Mm-hmm. Well, when you called in, you reported that his name was Clyde Beaton?
That's right.
You think it might be his real name, Doctor?
I'm sure of it.
Oh?
You have to be very careful whenever you treat a bullet wound. I always ask for identification.
Yes, sir. That's a good idea.
The young fellow was a little embarrassed at first. He didn't have any.
No driver's license?
It was in his other suit. I told him he'd have to stay here until I could contact the police.
What did he do then?
He fished through his pockets, found a letter he'd recently received. I took the name from the envelope, Clyde Beaton. Seems sufficient identification under the circumstances.
Did you get Beaton's address?
He said he was staying at the Crown Prince Hotel on Sunset.
Is that what the letter said?
I'm afraid I don't remember. It was the name I was chiefly interested in.
I understand.
Did you keep the slug, Doctor? The bullet you took out of his chest?
No, I'm afraid not. He wanted it for a souvenir.
Well, your report said it was a .38.
That's right, .38 caliber.
You sure of that?
I've handled guns all my life. It's a hobby.
I see.
Is this a serious matter, Sergeant?
I'm afraid we don't know yet.
The wound was very superficial.
Yes, sir.
I remember telling him how lucky he was that the bullet hadn't gone in deeper.
Well, he could have been luckier.
How's that?
If it hadn't hit him at all. We drove over to the Crown Prince Hotel. They told us that no one by the name of Clyde Beaton had been registered during the past month. They also told us that they had no guests who answered the suspect's description. We checked the name through R&I. They had nothing on them. We also checked the telephone books, city directories. We came up with 2 Clyde Beatons. The first one was an elderly man who lived on Highland Avenue. We interviewed him and learned that he suffered from arthritis and had been bedridden for the past 2 years. He had no living relatives except for a daughter who kept house for him. The second Clyde Beaton lived on Washington Boulevard. We drove out to the address. It was a 2-story brick and stucco apartment house.
Yes?
Mr. Beaton in?
No, he isn't.
You know where we can find him?
What for?
We're police officers.
What?
This is Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
Are you Mrs. Beaton?
Yes,
This is Clyde Beaton.
that's right.
Could you tell us where your husband is, please?
Well, he's not here.
Yes, ma'am. Where is he?
Chicago.
Oh.
Been there since last Friday.
You sure of that?
What's this all about?
Police business.
Do you mind if we come in for a minute?
No, I guess not. We can't talk very loud. The baby's asleep.
Yes, ma'am.
You say your husband's in Chicago.
Since last Friday.
Business trip?
Oh, in a way. He's a plastic salesman. Company's having a convention.
I see.
He did a bigger gross last year than any other West Coast representative, and that's why they picked him to go.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite an honor. He's only been with them a couple of years, practically the youngest man on the force.
Yes, ma'am.
He even had a dinner last night. Gave him a plaque.
Last night?
He called me afterwards. Long distance.
From Chicago.
Don't you believe me?
Yes, ma'am. Does your husband have a gun, Miss Beaton?
What?
A pistol or a revolver?
Well,
Well, does he, Miss Beaton?
yes, he has a gun.
Do you take it with him?
No, of course not.
Mm-hmm.
Why would he take a gun to Chicago?
Would you get it for us, please?
Oh, it's in the bedroom. Bureau drawer. The baby's there.
We'd like to see it, Miss Beaton.
All right.
Well, the convention in Chicago should be easy to check.
Yeah, too easy. Well, if the guy was setting up an alibi, he'd pick something tougher to crack, wouldn't he?
You think we've struck out?
Could be.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, the gun isn't there.
Oh.
I looked all through the bureau. I don't know what could have happened to it.
Well, maybe your husband did take it with him.
I packed all his things. He couldn't have.
I see.
Well, we've always kept it in the top drawer where it'd be handy.
Mm-hmm.
You know where your husband's staying, Miss Beaton?
The Waterfield Hotel. I've never been in Chicago, but it's right downtown someplace.
What's the name of the company he works for?
Federated Plastics. Can't you tell me why you're asking all these questions?
We just like to get in touch with him.
What about?
Do you have a picture we can take with us?
Of Clyde?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I suppose so, but I'd like to know why. Is he in any trouble?
Not if he's been in Chicago for the last few days.
Of course that's where he's been. I talked to him just last night.
We have the picture now?
Let's see what I can find. I think there are a couple of snapshots in the desk. Would that be all right?
Yes, ma'am. Be fine.
When's your husband due back?
Day after tomorrow.
Is he flying?
Mm-hmm. I don't know which flight, though. He said he'd send me a telegram. Here's a picture. Took it last summer on our vacation in Yellowstone.
Mm-hmm.
My brother Tim's in it, too. Will that make any difference?
No, it's perfectly all right.
That's Clyde, sitting on the rock.
Mm-hmm.
The one in the plaid coat.
We took the picture with us, and we stopped by Dr. Springer's clinic. His nurse told us he was operating at St. Thomas Hospital. She said she'd call as soon as he was free. We went back to the office, and we sent a teletype to the Chicago PD requesting information about Clyde Beaton, supposedly registered at the Waterfield Hotel. 2 hours later, at 5:43 p.m., Chicago reported that a man answering Beaton's description and using his name was staying at the Waterfield. They also confirmed the fact that he'd attended a convention dinner the previous evening.
He sure comes up looking good.
Sure does.
Do we check him out?
Well, we better talk to him when he gets back in town, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Homicide, Friday. Yes, ma'am. How long will he be there? I see. Would you ask him to wait, please? Right away. Thank you. Doctor's back in his office.
You still want to show him this picture?
So far, it looks like we're 100% wrong.
Yeah.
Can't get any worse. We drove out to Dr. Springer's office, and we showed him the snapshot of Clyde Beaton.
Mm-hmm. That's him.
You sure, Doctor?
No doubt about it. That's the young man I treated this morning.
His wife says he's in Chicago.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
He does fit your description.
Even the coat.
Coat? Well, yes, sir. Isn't that the one you told us he was wearing? You see there? The plaid?
But he isn't wearing... Oh, I see what you mean.
What?
The other chap in the picture. Yes, I believe that is the same coat.
Wait, I don't follow you, Doctor.
This is the young man who had the bullet in his chest, the one standing up wearing the leather jacket.
Mm-hmm.
But when he came to see me this morning,
yes, sir,
he had on this other man's coat.
Dr. Springer was positive in his identification of Mrs. Beaton's brother. 7:28 p.m. We again interviewed Mrs. Beaton.
Oh, it's you again.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you want now?
Just a couple more questions.
You got me so nervous before, I just didn't know what to do. I had to telephone Clyde all the way to Chicago. Make sure he was all right.
We're sorry about that, ma'am.
It cost us a fortune in phone bills. He said the police back there had been bothering him, too. He couldn't imagine why.
We don't want to cause you any trouble.
Well, that doesn't help any.
Would you take another look at this picture, Miss Beaton?
What for? I gave it to you.
Yes, ma'am. You said that the other man was your brother. Is that right?
What about him?
What's his name, please?
Tim.
His last name?
Larkin. Tim Larkin.
Well, now, does the coat that your husband's wearing in the picture belong to him or to your brother?
It's Clyde's coat, of course. He's wearing it.
Is it in the house now?
No, I don't know where it is. Cleaner's, I guess. Wasn't here when I packed Clyde's bag last week.
Your brother live in L.A.?
Yes.
Where about?
Well, he lived with us until a few weeks ago, and then he and a friend of his took an apartment over on Bellwood Avenue.
You know the number?
261 West.
What's his friend's name?
Oh, it's Bill Dressingham. Went to college together.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Tim came to California to go to school. Our folks live back in South Dakota.
I see.
He did all right the first couple of years, but something happened last semester. He just sort of lost interest and quit school, both him and Bill. Got jobs and rented this apartment. I guess they're making good money. It's a very nice place.
Yeah.
It isn't Tim, is it?
No.
Well, the reason you've been coming back and forth here all day.
We don't know yet.
Well, if anything's happened, it'll be my fault. I'm supposed to be responsible for Tim while he's in California, but if folks don't know he isn't going to school anymore, they think he's still living with us.
Mm-hmm.
He's the baby of the family, just turned 21. Thought I'd wait until Mom and Dad realized he's a grown man.
Then I'd tell him he's on his own. Thought I'd wait till then.
Maybe you waited too long. "9:15 p.m. We went over to the Bellwood address Mrs. Beaton had given us. We found a card on one of the doors with the names Beaton and Dressingham on it.
Yeah, who is it?
Open up.
Why a big McGill up?
All right, get your hands against the wall.
Huh?
Police officers, move. Turn around.
You okay? Come on, son. All right, he's not heavy, Joe.
All right, what's your name?
Tim Larkin.
Unbutton your shirt.
What for?
Your shirt, unbutton it.
Yes, sir.
Where'd you get that bandage?
I fell down.
Come on, where'd you get it?
Fell down, I said.
You see a doctor?
No.
How do you know it isn't serious?
It's getting better.
You didn't see a doctor?
No.
Well, we've got one we'd like you to see.
What are you talking about?
Dr. Springer.
Oh,
You ever hear of him?
I guess so.
Well?
We were just horsing around, Bill and me. Fooling with a gun.
Who's Bill?
Fellow I live with.
Go ahead.
Gun went off. Bullet caught me in the chest, that's all.
Where's the gun?
What difference does it make?
Where is it?
Closet.
All right, you stay put.
I'll check.
Where were you last night?
What time?
All of it.
Here.
All evening?
Yes, sir.
Found it, Joe.
Well,
38. Found this, too.
is this your coat, Larkin?
No.
Whose is it?
Brother-in-law's.
Who's the gun belong to?
Him?
Did he give it to you?
Borrowed it.
Borrow the coat, too, did you?
Yeah.
Where were you last night?
I said before, right here.
Been over on Pico lately?
No.
You sure of that?
I'm sure.
This coat was.
I don't know what you mean.
All right, come on, son. You might as well tell us.
Tell you what.
We got a shell casing
Yeah?
from a 38. We found it in the liquor store last night.
So?
The owner was killed.
Lots of 38s around.
Be real easy to check your gun against the casing we found. Well?
Come on, Larkin.
Guess you'll find out anyway.
All right, tell us.
I was there.
Evandale liquor store.
Yeah, me and Bill. We was going to hold up the joint, that's all. Just hold him up.
Go ahead.
Bill had the gun. I didn't have nothing to do with that part. He was holding the gun on the old geezer, and I went around behind to get at the cash register.
Mm-hmm.
Something happened. I don't know what. Maybe Bill was squeezing too hard on the trigger. Maybe he got scared. I don't know.
Yeah.
The gun went off. Old guy fell down. Same time I knew I felt a little pain here in my chest. Bullet must have gone through him and hit me.
Yeah.
Bill got all panicky. Turned around and started running. I stuck right on his heels.
Where's Bill now?
Bar down the street. Went out for a beer.
Is he carrying a gun?
No, sir. This is the only one we got.
All right. Let's go.
Oh. You understand that I didn't have nothing to do with the shooting. You understand that, don't you? It was Bill that pulled the trigger. I didn't have nothing to do with it. I wasn't even involved.
Yeah, well, we don't see it that way.
Huh?
You ended up with a slug.
The story you've just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On June 14th, trial was held in Department 93, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. William Seaton Dressingham and Timothy Wilkes Larkin were tried and convicted of murder in the first degree. The jury returned a recommendation of leniency, and the suspects are now serving life terms at the State Penitentiary, San Quentin, California.
Dragnet. The story of your police force in action is a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.